Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a very good day so far, whatever time it may be where you are. We are going to take a look today at this agent puzzle. Oh, right, I forgot about the intro again. Sorry, Tristan, I don't do it on purpose, I swear. We're going to take a look at this puzzle by agent, which is a deconstruction of various sorts. It looks like it should be a good time. I should very shortly be publishing my Ubon-esque puzzle that I've been working on for forever. So probably this will apply to a very, very narrow range of you. But if you're excited by ciphered Japanese sums Ubon puzzles, I have a forthcoming treat for you. Currently, Tristan is in the middle of testing it. He started the example puzzle last night and then finished the example puzzle this morning and is well on his way to finishing the actual puzzle. So once that makes it through, I'll go ahead and put it in testing. And then once it gets tested by a couple more people, then I will actually publish it. So you can look forward to that. I think it will be quite enjoyable for that narrow range of you who want those words together in a puzzle. All right, so as always, we are starting today with this puzzle that was most voted on. So today there is actually a giant tie. So if you would like to get in on the action, you can do this. But today the most voted on puzzle by my windmills was this one. It was voted for by Doomdiat, Luda, Ambrose, Josh, Russ, Alathana, David, DDX, and Wisteria. So thank you all for your support. If you'd like to get in on the voting, you can do that by supporting the stream at the windmill level or higher. That gets you access to the list of puzzles that we might do on stream and lets you vote on which ones you'd most like to see. Currently, there were, I believe, 5 puzzles tied at 9 votes, so your vote could make all the difference in what one I do next time. So by all means, do that. And if you do already have voting privileges and you haven't voted for something, by all means, do so. All right, so let's figure out what is going on in this puzzle, because I have not read the rules yet. So we need to shade some cells in the grid so that all shaded cells are orthogonally connected and no 2x2 is fully shaded. We need to place some digits from 1 through 9 in unshaded cells such that no repeating digit occurs in any row or column. Shaded cells do not contain digits. Groups of orthogonally connected unshaded cells form islands, which do not touch orthogonally. So this is sort of that's the Nurikabe part of the puzzle, but may touch diagonally. An island of size n must contain the digits 1 through n once each. So okay, so that is the math Pesto rule. Cells with arrows contain a digit that indicates the number of unshaded cells, including itself, in the indicated directions combined. Okay. So that means cells with arrows are green, right? Because if this is true, they contain a digit, and if they contain a digit, then they automatically do. If this were a KNT puzzle, it would say if the cell is shaded, then it means this, and if it's unshaded, then it means this. But here, I think it just says cells with arrows contain a digit, and hence are green. Cage cells contain a digit that indicates the size of the island. All possible cages are given. Okay, so in particular, that means every island contains exactly 1 cage. Okay, we can try and dig up a... it's not at all shade at KNT. I have done that before. Like, if you look at my sort of Nurikabe variant, it's horrible because of the arrows that point... if the arrow is in a thing, then it means one thing, but if it's not, then it points at a digit that means a different thing. Anyway, does anyone who's done this puzzle have the ability to look up what would be a good bet tree for this puzzle? I'm going to green all of the cells that, if I understand the rules correctly, must be green. And so because those must be green, I must separate, let's not forget, row 10, column 4. Oh, hey, Setter in the house. Welcome, agent. Row 10, column 4. Okay, so I must make this gray because it must separate these two. Likewise, that's gray. Because I can't have two, I can't have the size in both of these places. So we'll go with that. Remember, all the shadeds are connected, so this shaded needs to get out at least to there. Let's see. Okay, what do the arrows mean? An arrow. Cells with an arrow contain a digit that indicates the total number of unshaded cells in the indicated directions combined. Okay, so this number in particular is not 1, because there's an unshaded cell in this direction already. And so this is automatically green, which means this is gray because I can't let these two join. And this is gray because the grays have to connect. Now this is at least 3, because it sees 3 cells already, so therefore this must be green. This must be gray. I'm going to go with a darker gray, because the lighter gray is slightly invisible, and I'm not going to write anything in these anyway, so I might as well use the fancier gray. Oh, by the way, this is fancy gray as well. The fancy gray gets out, because again, I can't combine those two things. It would create problems. While I'm doing some fancy grays, there's some fancy grays. This fancy gray has to get out. We've got all of that. Okay, this is, again, at least 3. I'm not sure if I yet know any official things about this, but... Oh, I just know what this digit is. Because this is just counting... This is just a 3 and a 2. Right? This is just a 3 and a 2. Because it's just counting the number of unshaded cells in this direction. So this is a 3, and we're going to get a 3 dance as soon as I turn my keypad on and we actually get a 3 in the grid. So let us bring out Zach for his famous 3 dance. Ba-doop-ba-doo! Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doo! Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doo! Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doo! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So the nice thing is that's a 2, and so as Carl pointed out, I was already sort of filling this in my mind. This has to be a 1, because it can't be anything more, so those are both gray. And this has to be green because this can't contain a 4 anymore. Or sorry, this can't contain a 3 anymore, so it has to grow. So we get at least to there in terms of our journey. This is either a 1 or it isn't, is a deduction that I am realizing it might be important. This can only be, let me fill in for some of these. This can only be a 1 or a 2, because of reasons. Oh yes, please take a moment to like the stream. It would be much appreciated if you took a moment to like the stream. Thank you to those of you who have already done that. Today, my counter to tell me how many of you that is not working. It sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I like the stream deck, but that part does not really work. Let's see. So if this was green, is that a problem? If this was green, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's only 6 cells. 6 is plausible. Let's see. This digit is already at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This digit's already at least 5, so I'm going to go ahead and note that just for myself. Let's see. Okay, what else have... Hey, Jacob, glad you enjoyed this puzzle. Hopefully you'll enjoy watching me enjoy it. Let's see. This puzzle started with me knowing exactly what to do a bunch of times, and now I do not yet see the next thing for me to look at. Let's see. Carl says this is gray. I don't see it yet. It would make this a 4. This would then... Oh, no, this could even be a 4. Oh, no. Okay, so here's the thing I just noticed. This is now seen a 4th cell. So this digit's at least a 4. I mean, the gray can connect around this way, can't it? Oh, no, it's not connected. Wow. In my brain, these were connected. Those are not at all connected. Okay, never mind. Okay, yes. This is gray because these two are not connected to those. I have this whole time been trying to decide whether it connected around this way or connected around this way. But none of that matters because this is at least a 4, and so that's green. This can't be green now because it would put a second thingy on a thingy. I know there's actually a green cell in here, and I think Jay Dyer was seeing this earlier. These can't all be gray, because if these were all gray, this cell has no value, because it would be at most 3, and it can't. So this is actually at least 5, which means that this is always green. Let's see. What else can... Oh, this gray still has to keep getting out, which has made this a 4. I'm trying not to say avoid a checkerboard, as much as I very badly want to. Oh, this gray needs to keep getting out, because, again, it's not actually connected to that, despite the fact that in my brain it was. So, we've got all of that. Oh, so this is a 1, in particular, because that's the rules. Every island contains 1 through n, where n is its size. Let's see, I guess I know this island isn't of size 1. So this island is of size at least 5. That's interesting. So if this island is of size at least 5, I think it... Yeah, right. So even if this cell takes this, it can take neither of those. So this island always takes that cell. And even if it takes this, it's not of size at least 5 yet, so it always takes that cell as well. So therefore, these are both gray. So it would be of size exactly 5 if it was exactly these 5 cells. But that's not going to work, because if it's exactly these 5 cells, I need to put a 2, a 3, and a 4 in it, and I can only put them in those 2 cells. So in fact, this even grows further. So we've got that. In fact, I guess a different way to say that is I know the minimum of these is 5 and 6. But it's possible now that actually that all works. Oh, except that this gray needs to come out here because this gray needs to connect, and it was completely isolated. So can't do that. So I do need this green to grow again at least. Okay, what about this? What size is it now? So this has now gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is now 6 cells in size at minimum. So this needs to grow. And it either grows here or here. No matter which it grows to, this is always gray. Because I need to keep it apart from this island. And this certainly can only grow at most 2 more. No, that's not true, because it could take these. Never mind, I will retract that claim. If this were green, green would be isolated up here, so this is not green, it's gray. I think we have to avoid a 2x2 of shaded. We do, so that's green. Ah, okay, so now these are both gray. This has been super cool so far. Because now this has its friend. So we've got that. Is this now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? It's now a minimum of 6. Okay. Right, one of these two needs to be gray, but not both. So this is a gray-green pair, which on this channel we usually denote with a little line through them, that we know this is a gray-green pair. And then MicroStudies' point is this is now all one mess that has to go out through here, because this has been the this is the exit. So now this can only be a 5 or a 6, but it can't be a 5, because it's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's at least 6, but it's also at most 6, because I can shove at most one more green cell in here. And so now I do have to shove that extra green cell in here. Wasn't it very useful that I introduced the concept of the red line to help us remember that for the half a second that it lasted? But now, because this is 6 and it already sees 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we actually get that that's gray, and all of these are gray. And this is a 1, which makes that a 2, which makes that green. Let's see. I have a few places that I can put that. Okay, this we still know is not of size 5, because if it were of size 5, I could not fit 2, 3, and 4 into it. So it's at least of size 6, so that's always green. Which means this gray has to get out. All of these are gray, and the da-da-da. Okay, this digit is huge. And that's very big, because if this digit's at least 6, this can't be gray, because if this digit was gray, I could not have a digit as big as 6 in here. So this digit's always green, which is huge. So now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Darn it. This can just get away with being green. This gray needs to get out. Sorry, gray. It's not my fault. It's the rules blame agent. This gray needs to get out. Speaking of grays that need to get out. Oh, this gray's not even out yet, so that's gray. Okay, so this now is 6. So these are 2, 3, 4, because I need the 2, the 3, and the 4 in here. In fact, actually, that's the one that's 2. That's the 5. These are a 3, 4 pair. This is not a 6 anymore. In fact, actually, what is it by just shading? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is at least 8, just by shadiosity. The gray is not out yet, Tristan points out, so this gray yet again continues. This must be green, Ace of Spades points out, to avoid a 2 by 2. Actually, that's not the 2 by 2. Row 4, column 8. I think green can have 2 by 2s, Ace of Spades. It's only fully shaded that we can't have. So I don't think we know row 4, column 8, unless I'm missing a rule. Let's see. Okay, so this digit, if it's not a 1, is big. This is at least now 8, so that's always green, in fact, because of this being at least 8 and having to get out. Oh, we actually know exactly what number this is now. This is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we actually now know it is 8. This digit is at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can't be 6, so this is green. Because it can't be 6 by sudoku, so in fact this is a 7, and we need to make that green in order to make that happen. And now this is done. So that is all gray. Avoid a checkerboard. No, can't avoid a checkerboard. That is gray, though, because this gray has to get out. If this was green, this gray up here could not get out, so this has to be gray. It would isolate this monstrosity if that were green. Oh, the 8 is not in a caged cell. You're right. Sorry. How far? Right. Okay. So Right. The 8 is not in a caged cell, and so therefore the caged cell must be a 9. Right, sorry. In my brain, I had gotten used to the fact that this cage and the arrows were the same. So the caged cell is, in fact, a 9, because it has to be bigger than 8, and I'm pretty sure last I checked in my PhD, there's no number bigger than 8. So that has to be a 9. And this has to be gray, because it would turn this into a 10 if it was green. And there is no 10, don't worry, Bender. And so these are all gray. That's gray. Thank you for catching that, chat and agent. To saving me from this. Okay, this needs a square, because all squares are given. So this needs to come down here, and that's a 5. So we get that. Okay. This is a lovely puzzle, by the way. Okay. So this digit is at most going to be a 5, but it's not a 5. So actually this can only be 3, 4, or 5. Sorry, can't even be a 5. Yeah, this is only a 3 or a 4. That's the point. Let's see. Do I know anything about this that's exciting? I don't know yet. This, I see a couple of people pointing out in chat, this needs to gray out. So that's graying out over there. This is a green-gray pair as well, if we want to reuse this notation just long enough for me to discover I don't need it. Let's see. This is a number. Sure is. Let's see. I should always be counting and making sure I don't ever have 9 green cells in a row or column. That deduction I always miss. Oh, wait. I just know what this is. That's a point. One of these is gray, and one of them is green. So therefore this is always a 4. Because if these were both... No, sorry. So this is always... No, so this is always a 4. Right. That's the point. Because if this was a 3, these would both be gray, and that would make a 2 by 2. That's the point. So we've got the 1 and the 2 over here, along with something. I don't know what. I know that these are 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Amber asks, have the 7 and 8 arrows reached their unshaded maximums? Yes. I think that is correct. One of these two is a 5. I'm looking for some weird geometry thing, which may or may not exist, but... Where do 1 and 2 go in here? These are a 1-2 pair. That's the thing I think I'm looking for, right? No, that's not true, because this cell can also be a 1 or a 2. I think. Yeah, so I think I was not quite correct. And by not quite correct, I mean I was not remotely close to correct, but will give me half credit. Let's see. So I know there's at least one green cell down there, but that's okay. It's going to be disappointing if this works out to be a 1. I guess I do have to connect all of these things up to a green cage of some sort. Let's see. Let's see. Ratfinks says... right. Good spot from Ratfinks. If this is gray, then because every island has a square, everything down here becomes gray, and I've made a 2 by 2. So therefore that's green. And the same is true if this is gray. If this is gray, it makes both of those gray, so that's not going to work. So that's green. And now if I make this green, it makes this a 5, but there's already a 5 in the row. Great spot from Ratfinks there. And so therefore this is a 4. These are therefore 1, 2, and 3 in some unspecified order. Let's see. this is at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is at least a 5. I'm just going to record for the future. I still have got 2 places I can put 5 in here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, it can't be 9. Good spot. Row 8, column 7. Right, no arrow could ever be a 9 unless it's a cage. I had not thought about that, but that is a good spot to microstudy. That is a good point. So let's see. So people are claiming that this cell has to grow to connect this. Right. No cell can be a 9 unless it's in a cage. That's true. I'm going to just pencil mark this. Because there's lots of things that we can't do throughout here, and so I want to keep track of that just for looking for tuples, the usual. So this cell, for example, is at most 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it's not a 1, a 3, or a 4. And it's not a 6 either, because if this was a 6, all of these would be green, which would join to things. Actually, this being a 5 is even going to be really tricky. Because if this wants to be a 5, it's going to have to be something like those 5. Actually, I guess it could be something like this would be fine. So this is 2 or 5. Both are weird, actually. Both 2 and 5s feel unlikely. But what are you going to do? This being 8 actually doesn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This being 8 would, oh, maybe not. I thought that was going to isolate the grays, but that doesn't isolate the grays. The grays can still get out here. People keep saying this has to be a 3, but I don't at all understand, the reasoning yet. Why people feel that way. Oh, it's because it can't be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. That's why. So yes, so this just by beautiful magic is not 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So this can only be 1, 2, or 3 just by math plus microstudies point. It's not a 1 because it already sees 2 things. So this can only be a 2 or a 3. And it can never be a 2, because if it was a 2, it would say it saw no more grays, which would make it a little island. So this is always a 3. Okay, got it. So therefore, this cell is only from a handful of things. It could be 1, 2, not 3, 4, 5, not 6, 7, 8, or 9. So this can only be 1, 2, 4, 5. We're almost at an oople in this row of some sort. Okay, so only one of these 2 is green. And whichever of these 2 is green, I'm not allowed to put another green in that direction, because another green in that direction would make this too big. So one of these 2 is green, and whichever one it is, it connects here. So this cell's always green. And these are part of the same island family, however this works. So we've got this. So this is at least 4. Oh no, I think J. Dyer's right. I think J. Dyer's right. I think I could do that instead, and it would be fine. Never mind. But it is true, as Heliopolis says, that one of these 2 is green, so therefore none of these are green. That I believe. Okay. So we've got that. So certainly this needs to connect over to these. Right. This gray becomes trapped. Right. This is a gray-green pair, is Microstudy's point. These two are a gray-green pair because they can't be both gray, but if they're both green, I isolate this. And so if these are a gray-green pair, something. Alima points out this is green. That's a lower hanging piece of fruit. That this is green. So now, that being green means this digit's always at least 5, and it's certainly at most 7, so this digit's only 5, 6, or 7. And it's never 7, actually, because we know that these aren't both green, so this can only be 5 or 6. If this is 5, interestingly, it makes that a 2. If this is a 6, this can still be a 5. I think all of that is fair game. One of these two is a 4, no matter what, because this island needs a 4, and it's not getting it in the row with a 4, and it's not getting it in the column with a 4 either. So one of these two is a 4. Are we setting up a Jovi wing on 4s? Good lord. This has to be at least 5 just to get that. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. It can't actually itself be a 5 because that would make this a 6, which would be bigger. So this is at least a 6, in fact. This digit is at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This digit's at least 6 now, so it's not a 5. Right. If this is green, so this is a green and a gray, and Andrewsarchus's point is that this cell can't be the green, because if this is the green, that's the gray, and that gray has to get out, but then it isolates this green. So that's never the green, that's the gray, and this is the green. This green has to connect through there. Good spot to Andrew there. So we've got all of that sort of filled in. Let's see. I bet there's something smart I can do, like ask where that 1, 2, 3 goes in this island. The 1, 2, 3 goes there. So this digit and that digit are the same, so it's not a 2. It's a 1 or a 3. That 4 looks over at that 4, actually. Uh-oh, the puzzle's broken. I did something wrong. Oh, it could be a 2. Right. Okay, so I think I actually just proved the opposite of the thing I wanted. So what if this is not a 2? So this still isn't a 4, actually. Sorry, this can be a 2 if that's a 2, and it has to be, because what we just saw is if this is a 1 or a 3, that's a 1-3 pair, and I cannot put both 1 and 3 in here, which I have to. So in fact, this is a 2. And so this 1, 3, though, really does have to go there within this region. And so this 2 having to go there means that's a 2. That was gorgeous. I really liked that. So now, does that do something? So can this still be green? Or have I somehow learned that it's not green? I think no, is the answer. Yeah, I don't know yet about this. The point is, one of these is green. That's the way to look at it. One of these is green because this has to connect to this. And so one of these is green, and so that makes that gray, it's the good gray. Which means this isn't 4, which means this is 4, which means this is 5, which means this is the other 1, 3, which means that these digits are not from 1 and 3. if I go ahead and write them in, and they're not from 2 or 4 either. There's a 9 on the island already. There's a 7 and an 8 on the island already. So these are a 5, 6 pair, and we even know the order, that they are 6 and 5 like that. There's already a 4 on the island as well. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so that is a 3, making that a 4 for lots of reasons, actually. If I looked closely at what was going on, that's not a 4. Yeah, only one of these is green, but I don't think we know which one it is immediately. Okay, I know what this digit is now, because now it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This just is a 6, just by definition, of the arrows. This is at least a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is at least a 6, but it's got to be more than 6. I do have to avoid a 2 by 2 here. Heliopolis points out that's good, which means that's gray, which means this is green. So that was good. So this isn't a 6 because it's on an island with a 6. In fact, actually, at absolute minimum, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is actually a minimum of 8. So we've got all of that. Yes. Okay. MicroStudy's question is, how does gray over on this side of the world connect to gray over on this side of the world? And the answer is the only way it can do it is through the bottom. So at least these are gray. And that's got to be gray as well. And that's got to be gray as well. And so this is green for sure, to avoid a 2 by 2. Now only one of these two is green. So that's green or that's green. Don't quite know what to do with that yet. Okay. What else can we do? See, Carl says this has to be a 9. If this is only an 8, then it's exactly these cells, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. If this is an 8, it's those cells, and then I can't avoid a 2 by 2. So that's a 9 because I know that one of these is one of these has to be green. Okay, and so this is, let me just write in the possibilities. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 7 or 8 for the bet tree. Let's see. I might start Xing and Oing some of the 1, 3s, because I might be able to like place a 1, 3, O or X in this island, and that might tell me the whole geometry of the island. Let's see. 2 clue in row 6, column 5. Right. That tells. So, MicroStudy's point is one of these two exactly is green, and therefore that's always green, regardless of how exactly this connects. So this is a little magic line, and the point is that tells me that this is definitely an 8. And so the betting tree is an 8 today. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So congratulations to all the 8 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes come true. This cell is a 1 or a 2, not 3, 4, 5, 6. It could be a 7. It's not an 8 or a 9. So this is only 1, 2, or 7. Just for the record. If this is green, it's a big problem. Because if this is green, that's gray, but now the greens separate the grays. So this is never green. That's gray, and this is green. Okay, so we've got that, and so this is green because we have to avoid a 2 by 2. And so now this is already at least 4, although I guess we now know it's at least 5. This gray needs to get out through here now. It has no choice. So that makes that gray, which makes that green, which makes that and that gray, which makes this a 5, because it's the only thing it can be. And so that is green and that's gray. So we've got all of this. That 1, 3 goes there. I really am going to have to color them. Oh, I don't, because that 1, 3 goes here, but it's not a 1, so it's a 3. And we're actually going to get all of our 1, 3s now. Maybe not all of them. That might have been optimistic. 1, 2, 4 down here. So that's the 4, the 1, and the 2, and the 1 and the 2. No 1 here, no 2s over here. Really love this puzzle, by the way. I'm surprised this is listed as 4 stars in difficulty. And unless if this puzzle has a ludicrous difficulty spike at this exact moment, then I may retract my claim of loving the puzzle. But this has not felt. Maybe this doesn't feel like 4 stars to me because I've done too much of this kind of nonsense lately. But this has been, yes, as MicroStudy says, this has been incredibly smooth. Where does 5 go in this crazy world? 5 in this region only goes here or here. I'd love to say it can't go there, but I don't know that yet. I think I probably just have to hunt bit by bit. Maybe I don't have any great ones to look for. 4? No, I don't think 4 is that great. Let's see. Okay, so I need a 3 or a 4 up here for sure. And so therefore that's a virtual 3, 4, 5 triple. So this can't be a 3 or a 5 if I'm willing to use uniqueness and pull in a Vario. So we've got that available to us if all else fails. But let's look at this row 9 column 4 business. Oh, in fact, sorry. J. Dyer points out this is actually a real 3, 4, 5 triple. I don't even need uniqueness to know that. So this is a 2, and that's a 1, and that's a 3, which makes that a 1, which makes that a 3 and a 1. I mean, it sounds like something I would say jokingly, but this time it absolutely wasn't. Okay, so I'm being told this is a naked single, so it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, or 9. So this is a naked 7. And so let's have a look at this. Ah, right. Nicholas points out the 1s here actually now do damage and place the 1 there. So we've got that. So probably we have to pencil mark this. This is not a 1. It could be a 2. It can't be a 3. It could be a 4. It can't be a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 9. Okay, good. What about this one? It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be a 5. It's not 6, 7, 8, or 9. So, in fact, this one is just a 5 now. So that's not a 5. So that didn't actually help. But now the only things left in green are a 2 and a 4. And so this cannot be either 2 or 4. So, in fact, we finish our shading like this. This is a 2 or a 4, but it's not a 2. So that's a 4 and that's a 2, which looks up and gives me a 5, a 3, and a 4. And a 3 and a 4. Woohoo! That was smooth as hell. Beautifully done, Agent. Really enjoyed that. Neato. Alrighty. I am going to take a quick break, but I will be back shortly, and we'll do more puzzles. So see you very soon. Be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I enjoy doing that neurocopy, so we're going to do another pencil puzzle-y thing next. So this is a compass Fillomino puzzle. It's been a bit since I did one of those. So Fillomino, by Dyer, by the way, who I think is in chat. Hello, Jay. So we have to break up all of our ominoes, or all of our grid into ominoes, and so like this could be an omino, for example. And in so doing, we have to put into every cell its size. So for example, all of these would be 7 if this were the omino. So that's the Fillomino part. The only additional Fillomino rule is if I do that, I can't also do this, because that would be a 7 touching a 7, and for whatever reason, that is forbidden. So none of that. Okay. Then we have the compass rules. So if there's an arrow in a cell, the digit in that cell equals the total number of cells belonging to the region the arrow comes from that are in the direction of the arrow. It is possible that not all arrows are given. It's funny in microstudy, I don't think I would have even noticed that I say "and in doing so" often. But let's try and make an example of this working. So could do something like this. And so this arrow here would say the digit in that cell equals the number of cells belonging to the region the arrow comes from. Okay, so the region the arrow comes from in that direction. Okay, so if this is a 3, it's saying that blue has 3 digits up here. So I think this would be a valid way to do this. I'm going to have to repeat this to myself over and over again. So this cell being blue says that blue has 3 cells in the top row, I think is what this is saying. I haven't done one of these in a bit. Okay. So in particular, it's never possible that the digits on either side of an arrow are the same region. Because if they were the same region, they would be saying that all of the digits up here are sort of in that direction, which isn't possible because one of them definitionally is not. So so let's draw in some borders across all of these things, where we get these freebies. Compass is very weird. That is certainly true. And I'll go ahead and I'll draw in the border around the outside as well. Okay, so whatever this is, it's trapped unless it gets out that way. It would make sense if these two were in the same omino, I think. Because I think I'm just going to draw this in because I have to think about this and reacquaint myself with this. If this is in the same omino, these two would be the same thing, but that makes sense because there should be the same. Now, if these are the same, then those being the same, that would actually make sense. So what else can we say for sure? See, I probably should just give one of these a color and start thinking about it. Like if I make this yellow and this blue, right. Okay, I get it now. So the point is, this digit tells me how many yellow cells there are in this direction, but if yellow is getting into this column at all, yellow has to come out at least this far in so doing, because yellow has to get over to here. And now the same is true of this cell, so therefore this cell's also yellow. Ooh, sorry to hear that, Ken. I hope the surgery goes well. So I certainly have a border here. Okay, now this digit is telling me how many blue cells there are down here. So blue's going to have to get down here a lot. Yeah, blue has to get into row 6 somehow, as MicroStudies says. I don't think I know exactly what that's going to look like yet. This digit... Oh, these two are now definitely the same, though. These are in the same region. And the question is, could that region possibly be blue? So this region is either blue or it's a new region. If this region is blue, what does that say? That says some complicated transitive thing here that I'm trying to figure out why it breaks. These definitely have to be the same because the number of yellow cells in these columns or further is fixed. And so these two contain the same number by compass, so they're in the same omino by Fillomino microstudy. But my question is, are they both blue or are they both red? And how do I know? And I have to think about what it means that the number of... If these are blue, it means the number of blues... I feel like this has to break, but I really don't understand why. But I do know that these two are in the same region, at the very least. I'm willing to go that far. So... What is the min count for yellow? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The min count for yellow is 7. Yellow being a 7 would make blue 1. Wait. Sorry, no. Sorry, I'm misreading this. So what is the min count for yellow in general? Yellow actually needs to have at least 2 cells. Because these are in the same omino, these digits are at least 2. Keep in mind they might not be digits, but they probably are. But therefore, because I need at least 2 cells in this column, actually yellow is a minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yellow is a min of 8 in the absolute best of circumstances. And if yellow is a min of 8, that means blue needs at least 8 cells down here. Jay says blue is bigger than yellow, but I definitely don't understand why. I'm not arguing, I just don't see it yet. The fact that yellow is a minimum of 8 means that blue is a minimum of... No, blue is definitely bigger than yellow. Right. Blue is bigger than yellow because blue has yellow digits more, or yellow cells down here plus this one. So blue is bigger than yellow. Right. Okay, yes. So this in particular, okay, I agree with Jay. Yes. This says blue is bigger than yellow because blue has yellow number of cells down in this bunch. And so if blue is bigger than yellow, blue is also definitely not less than yellow, which would be the case if these were blue. So therefore these are not blue. They are red. But now we just said blue takes at least 8 cells down here, so blue takes all of those, and therefore red, I think, has to be 2, but I'm not willing to say that just yet. Oh, no, I am. I am, because yellow... because remember, we said yellow takes if yellow takes 2 cells in column 3, yellow is an 8. But if yellow took more cells than that, yellow would be more than 8, and yellow can't be more than 8. So we actually know that yellow is 8, because blue can't take more than 8 cells down here, and so we get to do our 8 dance. Ba-boop-a-doo! Woo! Ba-doop-a-doo! Woo! Ba-doop-a-doo! Woo! Ba-doop-a-doo! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. And so now, in particular, yellow being 8 means that this is a 1. It gets the black of shame. So red is 2, because we can't make yellow more than 8. Okay. So I do need... So yellow's shape is just forced because of the fact that it's forced to be 8 cells in size, right? Yellow being 8 cells and needing to take 2 there actually just means all of yellow is forced. So these are 8s, and the blue needs to get out. So blue needs to make it at least to here. So blue is a minimum of 11. Something is taking 8 cells over here that's not yellow. So something is taking these cells. So these are all in the same direction. If I wiggle the other way, I'm not taking 2 cells in column 3, Alima. I need to take 2 cells in column 3. Now, these might be blue. I need to keep in mind. These might be blue. Because I don't think there's anything immediately wrong with that. But this thing, whatever it is... Oh, no. Okay, no. It can't be blue. It can't be blue for the following cute reason. As MicroStudy points out, this Fillomino is now bigger than blue. And so if this were blue, this would be... There's no universe where this gets bigger than blue. So in fact, actually, what I've just said is that orange and green are the same. So we can draw a border there at the very least. Now, if green comes here, we're going to force the existence of a Fillomino that's even bigger than green, which seems bad. But I don't swear that I yet know. Ambrose says I know that this is green. Right. This is green because this is the one that actually is telling me that these 8 things are there. Right. This was actually essential to the argument. Was I knew that this was the same color as those. I just then didn't color it. Agree. So we can cut this off here. I think it's technically possible that this is not green, but who knows? So the number of green cells over here is equal to at least... Right, it's at least 11, but it's also at most 11. And so that cell's definitely green, because these can't both be green. And in fact, actually, because it's at most 11 green cells over here, blue is at most 11, and so blue actually is 11. And so I can go ahead and write 11 in all of these cells. Just watch me. So we've got that. And so now the question is it possible that this cell is green? And it seems absurd to imagine that this cell is green. Hey, AFK. Let's see. J40 wants me to count and say that there's just not enough cells if this cell is green. Because if this cell is green... This cell is some monstrosity that's even bigger than green, and there's no way for green to wrap around something of size bigger than green. So this can't be green. So this thing is smaller than green. We'll make it orange for now, but if it turns out to be a 1, we will appropriately admonish it. Let's see. Oh, right, it's at least 3. Right, it's at least 3 because it's the number of greens in this row. So good orange, good job. Now this thing is smaller than orange, but green is bigger than orange, so therefore this is not green. I can draw a line there and make this, let's say purple. We haven't done purple yet. Purple is smaller than orange. And purple is the number of orange cells that are down here. So orange is at least 4, actually. Because orange needs to take a cell down in this direction in order for this clue to work. So therefore orange is 4, because green, therefore, now needs to take 4 cells up here. Green needs to take a cell up here, which means orange is 4, which means orange looks exactly like this. Oops. I like that I said it looks exactly like this, and then proceeded to make it like a plaid or something. Which is not really what I intended. So this digit is a 1. I'm sorry that I wasted purple on it. I'll fix it. We'll fix it in post, as they say. So we've got that. So green had better get out, or green is not connecting to green, because these really are the same Granomino that we have. If this cell was green, we would have a region larger than green yet to fit in the puzzle. And even I, as Zeta, can see that that's not going to work. So we are not going to make this green. And so therefore in connecting, green definitely comes here. This is part of a region of size more than 1. So if this was not green, it would take both of those, but that would break green. So this cell's always green. Let's see. This cell I know is not green. Can this cell possibly be green? Maybe, I don't know. I have done 1 or 2 of those, Agent. Row 5, column 7 is definitely not green. Right. If this is green, I now need this to be part of an omino that's at least this many. And that's too many. So this is not green. So this is part of some other omino. I'll make you purple again, but if you turn out to be 1, I'm going to be very upset. Oh, wait, no, this one can't possibly be 1 because it's the bigger one. It's bigger than that. So this is always purple. And so therefore green needs to get out. So that is therefore green. This is bigger than that, which only works if this is also purple. Oh, no, this could be green as well. Number of cells of this. No, number of cells of purple. No, purple needs to take a cell here. Because purple, because this is at least 1. And so this is the 1 of death. We can go ahead and fill that in. We can fill in our 3s. And then we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so these need a 1 there and an 8 there. And then we're done. Nice puzzle, Jay. That was cute and surprising, and I know that people enjoy it when there are ominoes in Fillomino puzzles of size larger than 9. Oh, the 8s were supposed to be center marks. This is a disaster. There we go. An 18 omino and a 7x7. Yes. I love compass. All right. Let me dig up something real quick, and I'll be right back. right, welcome back. We're going to do this this Raumplaner entropic lines puzzle next. So we need, as part of this, so this is a chaos construction. So we need to divide the grid into regions of size 9 that are sort of irregular. But it is our job to do that. We have Kropke pairs. So these are a ratio of 2 to 1. These are consecutive. Not all possible dots are given. We have entropic lines. So the entropic lines need to basically three-way alternate between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, but they don't have to three-way alternate in that order. So we don't have to worry about that. And our chaos construction rule is that if two cells of the same entropy touch orthogonally, they must not be part of the same region. And each region border must have 2 of the same entropic status on both sides. Okay. That is weird. Okay, so we've got that. All right, so digits on a white dot really want to have the same entropic status. I'm going to bet the regions are either all the rows or all the columns. I feel like that's the only way this is ever going to work. But I've been wrong about things before, we'll say. Putting it mildly. So I know that everywhere along an entropic line like this, I know that there's not a region border. So that is not a region border. That is not a region border. And I know that's not a region border, and that's not a region border, actually. So, like, this is all in one region. Let's make that region yellow. This is all in one region, and it's not the yellow region. Let's make that region purple. These two are also different entropies, so I at least know that these are all in a region, and that region's certainly not purple or yellow. So that's green. We'll go ahead and say. Okay, so now what do I do with my life? So okay, so this has 2 of each entropy. And this is a border. So therefore yellow and orange are the same entropy, because this is definitely a border, because I can't have 10 cells in a region. And so if I try and do my entropies like one of the entropies is circle, then I'll go ahead and make this circle. And so if I count 1, 2, 3 down, that circle. And if I count 1, 2, 3 down, that circle. So whatever entropy circle is, we actually know these are both circle. We should have a bet tree. Does anyone have a recommended bet tree? Otherwise, I'm feeling this cell. No. The notation will be fine. It'll be fine. There's no way that Zeta will turn this into a complete mess. Nightmare. Almost no chance. Okay, so this is a white dot between 2 things of the same entropy. And I know that these are different regions, so I know there's a border somewhere along here. Let's see. Interestingly, if this is a border, then this is the last circle for the row. The same is true of here. Heliopolis notes that one of these is 2, 5, or 8. Let's see. Carl asks if this can be none yellow. So let's look at the world where this is blue. And so blue would have to get out. And so these two would be the same. These two would be the same. I don't quite see what's wrong with that. Oh, I see. It makes both of these the same and they're not. Got it. Okay, so this being blue... Sorry, it doesn't break the thing I thought it would. It breaks a completely different thing. It's just this being blue at all. It has nothing to do with the getting out even. If this was blue, it would by definition make all three of these the same, but these two are different. So this is not blue, it's yellow. Okay. And so likewise, this is purple because it would do exactly the same thing if it wasn't. And likewise, this is green because it would do exactly the same thing if it wasn't. So we've got all of those. There's probably more spots. This one too. If this wasn't purple... Okay, now I see what's going to happen. If this isn't purple, then again, I'm going to make these two the same as that. And that's not going to work. So this is purple. Math pesto all over again. This cell has to be yellow again for the same reason. So we get a border here. I think this Hylody could be circle. Sadly, I don't think I know it's not circle. Right. Right. And so sorry, I do know it's not circle. Because if this was circle, there would be a border. So you're right. So this is going to be Xy. To make that a border. So now, right. This can't be X because it would be a border. So therefore that's X. And therefore by entropy that's X. And therefore there are no more X's in yellow at all. Just for the record. Okay, this can't be X, so that's X. And so that's X. Right. Wait. No? Right. This can't be X. And it can't be Black Flash, which will be the last one. So this is neither X nor Black Flash, and so therefore it's definitely O. I knew you would like that microstudy. So this must be yellow, because it's next to two different symbols, and so therefore this is yellow. And this must be yellow, because it's next to two different symbols, so therefore it's yellow. And so therefore yellow is done. And once yellow is done, we get to circle X, circle X, and we get to black, 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 black. More of a reconstruction. Okay, so this thing is part of a region which is in the same region as these. So we can orangify all of that, and I'm happy to do that. And also, these are all in the same region, and it's not orange either. By the way, this cell's definitely purple for the same reason as all the other things that we've done. We're going to make these green because I don't think it's going to get up there. I think it's unlikely that it will work. If this was green, it would, funnily enough, be a problem, because if this was green, it would create a border with these two, which would mean this cell was black, which would mean there should be a border here. So this can't actually be green. And exactly the same argument works if this is purple. If this is purple, it's a border, so it's black, but then there should be a border there as well, so there's not. And so there is a border here, and so this is black. It just stuff happens. Okay, so I think exactly the same argument works here. If this was purple, it would create a border, which would make this a circle, which would make this a border. So it's not purple, and it's not orange either. So this is part of some new region of a color that I think I can prove just by annoying counting stuff has to be green, because this is a none orange, none purple thing that fits up here, and I can't fit another region inside of this if I know it's not green. If it's not green, then I have to fit 2 entire regions in these 13 cells, and that doesn't work. So this is green. And is a circle. 1, 2, 3, that's a circle. Whoop-a-doop-a-doop. All of this go away. This has to be one of the less chaotic chaos constructions I've done, I must say. This cell must be a circle because it can't be black or X or it would create a border. And now this cell must be purple because if it wasn't purple, it would be the same as X and O. And now purple is done. Okay, so we've got all of that. So now this has to be green, because otherwise I have to fit a 9-cell region in this one cell, and I'm not able to do that. Also, I know that this is an X, and I know that these are both black flash, because purple needs a black flash still. And if that's black flash, then by entropy, that's black flash. Let's see. This has to be green, because otherwise we've got a problem with the... with this thing. This is X just by entropy. Let's see. If this were black or circle, it would be a problem, so it's an X. Now this is circle or black flash, but in particular, this is not an X. And so, therefore, this must be green, because this is not an X. It has to be next to something that is green, otherwise we would create a problem. So we've got to fit a circle in here somewhere. Who knows where exactly. But now green is done, is the point. And so, if green is done... then that means that this cell is black, this cell is a circle, and this cell is an X, and they all belong to the same region. Let's make that region blue. This is supposed to be black, not gray. I hit the wrong button out of reflex. J. Dyer points out, so therefore we know what orange does, and we do in fact know what orange does. It is black, because it's across the border from a black, right? Or did you mean that I screwed up my coloring? Because I absolutely did screw up my coloring, but I fixed it. The third black and green can only go here. This is a circle, because it's the last thing. So this is a black. Let's border around this side as well. Let's not be monsters about this. In fact, let's just go around the whole border now, just for completion's sake. Okay, so the black is not allowed to touch the other black. So one of these two is black. Oh, this is an X, I know. Because of reasons. Oh, so now where is the last X? It's not... No, that doesn't quite do it. Let's see. Okay. Here's the thing I know. I know these are one of each non-black thing, and so therefore these are blue. And if those are blue, then by force all of these are blue. because the only way I could have a border in these 3 cells is to have 2 of the same, but I just don't have 2 of the same left to make a border. And so, in a surprising twist, this one works out to be a 3x3. This therefore is black by the fact that it's across a border from a black. And we can do, in fact, exactly the same thing here. J. Dyer points out. Actually, J. Dyer points it out in column 7, which we'll get to, but it also works here. So these can be the red region, and then these can be green, because they're already green. And so now, in a surprise again twist, those end up being green, much like that. Okay, so these two are different entropies, which is interesting in terms of a black dot, and these two are different entropies. Okay. So this is circle, and this is X across this border, which means that these are all red. And now in this row, these two, again, are the same, or sorry, these two are different, and they're not X, so therefore all of this is red, which forces this to be red. And we get to finish that. Okay. Jay says, if the 2 circles in orange don't touch the blacks, the third will have to. Right. Wait, no. I don't get it. Yet. These 3 are all in the same region. Let's make it C tiers, if you will. So we can go XO black. Okay, and now these are also C tiers because of the same trick here. So these can be C tiers as well, which now forces all of these to be C tiers, which gives me the rest of this. And let's go back and let us pick royal purple for the bet tree region. So if you bet that the bet tree was going to wind up royal purple, you win on the betting tree bet. So this is X now. Let's see. I know this isn't X, and I know these two aren't X. So where does the last X go in column 6? It goes there. And so where does the last circle go in column 6? It goes there. Where does the last black go in column 6? It must go here because of the line. And now what's left in this column is an X. And so the black in C tiers needs to go here. And so this is a circle. Oops, sorry. This is a circle. So that's a circle. Let's not forget this is a black because of the black in C tiers. So we've got all of that. Bring back kelp green. We've got a. Oh wow, yeah. Sorry, this is. I didn't even realize I repeated this color. Let's give this something from the C palette. Is this kelp green? I forget. Is this kelp green or is that seasick green? We've got a bunch of colors of green that look like they could be kelp. Let's see. So we've got assorted things. This is Simon Shirt Green. I like, yeah, the Simon Shirt Green. Yeah, that works. I just know what these are. I don't know why I'm not filling it in. Probably because I got distracted. Let's see. Okay, so people's point is up here that orange circles either go this way or they go this way, but if they go this way, now I have to put a black in and I can't. That's cute. Okay, I like that. So orange circles go like this, and so orange blacks go like this. And now that's all the circles in this column, so I need a circle over here. And that is, yeah, so... I need an X in this column, and that X can't go there. So that X goes here. So this is definitely an X. And therefore, this is black. I made a bad life choice. I filled those in, and then I put 4 blacks into here. Black is 0, 1, 2, 3. This is an entropy puzzle, of course. Yes, that's the X. And that is the black. Okay, so I do still need an X in this column. It still has to go there. And so, therefore, this is black. And therefore, this is circle, because it can't create a border. And therefore, this is black. Okay, so we've got all of that. What will we do now? I mean, I probably could use this to fill numbers in the grid, but that seems morally very questionable. So we probably should make sure we don't do that. Let's see. Unless it becomes inevitable. But it probably isn't. These can't be X. So I need 2 X's in here. Is one of the ways of putting X's in here broken? It's either those are both X or these are both X. I don't quite see what to do with that yet. I mean, I suppose I could math out what each of these things is. Just by counting. So it seems like the thing that would follow the pattern would be for black to do that. What happens if black does this instead? I don't immediately see what that breaks. I admit I am not quite sure how to finish my coloring, but it looks very pretty, so I'm satisfied with it. It is clearly art. Kyle really wants to fill in digits, which sounds very very unethical, but if we absolutely must, I suppose we can. So this is a high, a middle, and a low. So it could be 3, 4, 8. Yeah, so these can only be 3, 4, or 6, 7. So one possibility is that these are 3, 4. And the other possibility is that there's 6, 7, but the 7 has to go on this side, not that side. So if these are 3, 4, then this is 6 or 8. Yeah, Smart spot from J40. X's show up on this white dot. Wait, where's the other white dot they show up on? Right. X's show up on this white dot and this white dot. And so therefore X's need to, so X shows up with black, but X also shows up with circle, and so therefore X is middle. So this is only in fact a 4 or a 6. So therefore this is never middle. Hey, Anti-Knight. So this is a 4 or a 6 for sure. This is a 4 or a 6 for sure. Is there any version where this is low? Yeah, this could be 3. Oh, this can't be 6, sorry, but this could be 3, I think. Because I could go 3, 6, 7. I just never actually wrote in all the candidates for this. This could go 3, 6, 7. Or it could go 8, 4, 3. I think those are the two options. Well, I mean, it was an entropy puzzle. It was an entropy chaos construction. So the coloring was sort of inevitable if it was going to be an entropy chaos construction puzzle. So yeah, so there's a 3 involved. Either way I do this. 3 is the only 3 is the only low digit that comes up here. And so therefore we know what this is, right? Right, that's the point. So this white dot is of 2 different entropies. And so there's only 2 white dots that are of different entropies, which are 3, 4, which this one isn't, and 6, 7, which this one is. So this has to be 6, 7, and so therefore this is a 4, and we know the rest of the story, but we have to pause and let Zach do his 4 dance. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that's a 4, that's an 8, and that's a 3. So therefore circles everywhere are high. So let's go ahead and fill in our circles as being high. Someone in chat said that this coloring was ugly, which I find offensive. I think it is beautiful. And therefore blacks are low. So we have these coming in as 1, 2, 3s, like you do. And X's are middling. So let's middle the middles. There we go. Gorgeous. So no 3s, no 4. I do realize I'm now using the intensive colors that I always make fun of Neverio for using, but whatever, we'll enjoy them. These aren't 8. These aren't 4. These aren't 3. That probably isn't a 7 or a 9, actually. If I look at what is going on up here. So that is an 8. That's a 4. This is either 3, 4, or 6, 7, and it's not 6, 7 because of that down there. So this is always 3, 4, and I know the order. And therefore, I know my coloring. So 3 is low, so 3 is black. 4 is middle, so 4 is X. So therefore, this cell is the last circle in the row. This cell is the last black in the row. Let's see. This cell is the last X in the box. This cell is the last circle, so therefore that's X, and that's circle. In order to make that work. So yeah, so this is 7 or 9. This is 7, 8, or 9. This is 1 or 2. That one's not 3. I don't know why Sven can't see that. So those are a 1-2 pair. This is a 5 or a 6. So therefore, this is a 4 just by sudoku. That is a 4. This is a 5 or a 6 as well. This is not an 8. These aren't 4. I need another X in this row. The only place the X can go, MicroStudy says, is there. And I need another black in this row. The only place it can go is there. So we've made it that much further, at least, in our ambition to color the universe. Nicholas would like me to actually fill in these digits. 5 and 9 seems fine. These aren't 5. These aren't 9. That must be a 6, even though I never actually put anything on it, but it has become a 6, which has made that a 5, which has made that a 6 and a 5 and a 6, and a 5, and a 6, and a 5. These are not 9, that's not 6, that's not 5, that's not 6. This isn't 6 either, so it's a 4, and that's a 5, and that's a 6, and that's a 5, and that's a 4, and that's a 4, and a 6, and a 5, and a 6, and a 4. Let's see. Let's see, I might as well mark. I know this is 1, 2, 3. I know that these are a 4, 6 pair, and that's the 4, and that's the 6. And I know that that is from 7, 8, 9. Right. So Nicholas is pointing out, if I look at this Kropke dot, this is odd, so this has to be even, so it's always an 8. And that's a 7. Which makes that a 9 and an 8 and a 7 and a 9 and an 8. Makes that a 7 and that a 9 and an 8 and a 7 and an 8 and a 7 and a 6 and a 7 and a 9 and a 9 and a 7 and a 9 and an 8 and a 7 and a 9 and a 7. So one of these is a 2 in order to make this a 1 and a 2, and a 1 and a 2, and a 3. This is a 1 and a 3, and a 1 and a 2, and a 2 and a 3. This is a 3 and a 1. That's a 2 and a 3. It's a 2 and a 1. It's a 3 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. That's a 1. Yeah, we've got to make sure we try and figure out how to finish the subcoloring now, or we're going to have a big problem. So the point is, this cell can't be black because it sees all the blacks. So therefore, this cell is black. Oops. Therefore, this cell is black. And therefore, by the row, the thing I'm missing is an X. So let's go ahead and put in our X. So therefore, these two things that are the same must both be black. I never put a circle here and an X here. That would have been very helpful, I suspect, in also explaining this. It would have required a less fancy deduction. You returned to me solving that rare chaos construction that I agree to solve on stream, Neverio. But this was quite a chaos construction. I must admit, there were a lot of twists I did not see coming. So we've got all of those filled in, and so now we have the subcoloring complete. So that is a 2. That is an 8. This is a 3 and a 1. This is a 5. And now I have to do a quick scan to make sure I filled in everything but the bet tree before we conclude together that the betting tree is a 9. Yeah, it's a chaos construction, Neverio. Can't you tell from all the irregular sudoku? We had to use law of leftovers like 6 times in this puzzle. It was brutal. But just in case Neverio doesn't believe me, there is the grid. There That was very lovely, Raumplaner. I enjoyed that a lot. Way to stick the landing on that one, I think. Very nice. Alrighty. I am going to take a quick break, but I will be back shortly with more puzzles, so fear not. We will return shortly. Alrighty, let's do this Krydax puzzle next. Oh, and I see right at the beginning, Ken has now been a member for 10 months. Thank you so much for your support and being a good windmill. Let's get you a windmill dance. Woo! 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 Thank you so much, Ken. That's amazing. I also can't believe it's been 10 months. It feels like it is. It feels like streaming has sort of flown by, but thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. Alrighty. So next up, we have a little puzzle by Krydax, who is one of my favorite Factorio streamers, but also a thing. Yeah, this is an irregular. You can see that by coincidence, the irregular grid is the same as the irregular grid from the previous puzzle, which is why I decided to do this one afterwards. It's just a weird coincidence. So, what are our rules here? We have black dots. Wow, J. Dyer also been a windmill for 10 months. Woohoo! Let's get you a windmill dance too! As Zach falls over a bit. Woohoo! 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 Zach says the windmill dance makes him dizzy, but it gets him more herring, so he is happy to do it anyway. Never enough herring. All right, so we are given a clue that these digits are both smaller than 9. So these are greater than, less than signs. Just to do this. Now Neverio doing the windmill dance. Woohoo! 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 Wow! Wee! Whoa! Thank you, Neverio. Thank you. Thank you to everyone for your support. If you would like to support the channel as well, you can do that by clicking the join button down below. I was actually considering doing it on your stream the other day, Neverio, because Twitch did whatever the equivalent thing is for me and was like, "Oh, hey, you've been at this," and I was like, "Should I? Shouldn't I? I don't know how obnoxious it is." And I was like, "Well," and then I actually pressed the button to do it, and then it didn't show up, and then I gave up. Because I decided it would be fun, but then it didn't actually work, and then I did not fight further to get Twitch to do it. Do you have a recommended betting tree, Krydax? So anyway, we have standard black dots. Is there a negative constraint? I assume not. Not all dots are given. No. Okay. Sutter in the house, but Sutter has no memory of this puzzle. That is okay. So we can put a bet tree. Let's put the bet tree here. Let's try that for a bet tree. All right, so this can be our bet tree. We'll try not to get to it too quickly. So our question is, and Nicholas is already suggesting this, where does 1 go in this box? Well, 1 in this box definitely goes in one of these two places. But, and this is a very clever observation from Nicholas, that can't possibly be a 1, because if it was a 1, that would be a 2, and now this would have to be a number that's smaller than 2, but 1 in the row is gone. So in fact, we can get Zach back out here again for a 1 dance. Ba-boop-a-doo, woo! Ba-doop-a-doo, woo! Ba-doop-a-doo, boo! Ba-doop-a-doo, boo-doop, boo-doop, boo, ba-doop, boo-doop, boo-doop, boo-doop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Always appreciate your support. So now one of these must be 3-6, just by Kropke stuff. So let's see. So, well, neither of these can be a 2. I guess I can say that. Because 2 would have to be, it has to be bigger than both of these. Let's see. Probably I can do a similar thing. Yeah, so here I also get my pencil marked 1s. Let's see, where else do I get pencil marked? Maybe this is the only other place I get pencil marked 1s. So no 1 on that. Yeah, there is a dangerous 9 to pencil mark, but I'll go ahead and pencil mark it. And then there's a 9 here. 9 in box 1, Martin points out, can't go in a black dot. And so that, together with the inequalities, pushes 9 into exactly one of those two cells. 9 in box 5 actually is also... 9 in box 5 is displaced because of that 9. Right, so this 9 is a 9. So there's a 9 now up here somewhere. One of these is a 9. By virtue of that sort of thing. Let's see. Okay, so what about 9 in this row, then? 9 in this row is here. Because 9 is not less than anything. 9 can't go in a box with a 9. 9 can't go in a black dot. So that just is a 9. Let's see. So Nicholas's point is that can't be a 1. This can't be a 1. None of those are 1. So 1 goes in one of those two cells, because 1 is not bigger than anything. Sorry. Oh, and in fact, 1 is only there because of this 1 pencil mark. So we actually get this 1 for free. Quite cutely. And so now this number is bigger than 1, so it could very well be a 9. That would check out. 9 is bigger than 1. I can confirm. Row 2, beautifully, J. Dyer points out, these are the only places in row 2 that aren't on a black dot, so they have to be 5, 7, and 9. Because I have to put 5, 7, and 9 in there. That one I know is not 9 for a bunch of reasons. So this digit is smaller than 7, so it's certainly from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's not a 1, and it's not a 5 because it's on a black dot, and there's a 5, 7, 9 triple in the row. Yeah, so we've got at least that. Doesn't restrict that cell a whole lot, but it's good to keep in mind. I do know one of these two is 3, 6. Let's see. 1 in column 3 points out Garion is in one of these two cells only. David Ratner donates donates $29 to match Ken J and Navarro's memberships. Thank you so much, David. Much appreciated. We'll get you a donation dance. Do 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 do. Woohoo! Waha! Whoop whoop! Wee-hee! Whoa! Thank you so much, David. It's been great having you around stream so much. Great getting to know you. Wonderful having you and seeing you appreciate all these cool puzzles that we get to do. It's been fun. Thank you so much, everyone. Much appreciated. Love the love, as Jeff Probst would say. Anyone watching this season of Survivor? We haven't seen episode 2 yet. We've seen season 1. We've seen episode 1. Also, by the way, if you're into the sort of reality TV that I am, and you have not watched the show The Traitors, and you have some way to watch it, I recommend it. It is fantastic. And stars one of my favorite Survivor players of all time, so that is a bonus. Oh, David says episode 2 was good. Episode 1 was such a disaster in so many levels of this season. I kind of can't believe we're on season 44 of Survivor. I mean, I've watched them all, but it doesn't feel like it can possibly have been 44 seasons since I was watching season 1 and talking to my friends about it in high school. But alas, Zeta is old. Let's see. Everyone getting injured, and then that tribal council where suddenly, like, 2 people shoot and plays an idol and skips a thing, and oh lord. I now wonder if J. Dyer is aware or not that that episode 1 features someone named Jam Jam, which is suspiciously similar to Jar Jar. A Survivor-themed Sudoku? That sounds good. Okay, so, yes, the one of these that does not have a 3-6 has a 4. So this digit's never a 4 or a 3-6, so let's just write in what it can be. So it's not a 5, 7, or 9, it's not a 3 or a 6, and it's not a 4, and it's not a 1. So this is only a 2 or an 8. So if this is an 8, this has to be a 4. If this is a 2, this could be a 1 or a 4. So I think this is a 1 or a 4, annoyingly. Oh, but 1's already taken in the box, right? 1's over here, we somehow know. And so that, in fact, is always a 4. So we get that 4. So there's a 4 up here somewhere. And so there's a 4 on this dot. And so this is the 3, 6 dot. This dot doesn't have a 3 or a 6 on it. So this is from 2, 4, 8. We've got that. That's pretty awesome. Yes, where is 1 in row 3 now? Asks Ratfinks. 1 in row 3 can only go there. So there's a 1 over here in one of those cells. Welcome back, Isabella. It would make a lot of sense for the 4 to be up here, but I don't know that it has to be as of officially yet. If this is a 4, this has to be a 2 or a 3. It could only of those be a 2. Let's see. This is automatically right in this, so I'm going to get no information about whether this is a 5 or a 7 from this whatever it happens to be. So this number is bigger than 4, so it is only from 4 possibilities, so I'll go ahead and write them in. Let's see. So we've got this little T shape here, so we know we've got a 5 and a 7 sort of living this life. I don't quite know. 2 in row 3 has only 2 possibilities, I'm told. I think 2 can go there. 2 can't go in any of these places. Right, and 2 can't go in any of the... Wait, doesn't 2 only have 1 place? Where else can 2 go? 2 can't go any of these places. 2 can't go any of these places, because this would have to be a 1. Oh, sorry, there. That's the place. 2 can go in one of these 2 places. Sorry, 2 can go literally on top of the 1. That is the thing I missed. Well, we're just going to erase row 3, column 4 from the puzzle, and then my deduction will be correct. So yeah, so 2 is in one of these 2 places. Interestingly enough, 2 in this box actually is getting rather penned in, because 2 in this box can't go there, can't go there. 2 in column 3. Not any of these places. Not any of these places. Ah, yes, 2 in column 3 is just there. Which makes that an 8. Which makes that a 2-4 pair. This number is bigger than 2. Sadly, bigger than 2 describes most numbers. So now whereas 2 in this box, 2 is now here. Ooh, Carl has become a windmill. Welcome, Carl. Thank you for becoming a windmill. Let's get you a windmill dance. Woo! Woo! Woohoo! 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 Waha! Thank you so much, Carl. Always appreciate your help around with the puzzles. And great to hang out with you. Thank you so much. Let's see. These digits... Oh, this is the first puzzle I've done today where I can actually mark. They're not 3 or 6. This one I know is not 9 somehow. Oh, because it's less than this one. Oh, so this one is from 6, 7, 8 are the only digits that can go there. Okay. Yeah, Carl definitely has some of the more amazing spots around. There are a few... Okay, so, that's very clever. So, Todd points out this can't be 4, 8, because I would need to put a number bigger than 8 in one of these 2 cells, and I can't, because there's a 9 in the column. And so, because 1 and 2 are gone, this has to be 3, 6. That is very cool. And so now this isn't 3, 6, and so if it's not 3, 6, it has to be 4, 8. Good spot to Carl. Good spotting all around today, actually. So one of these numbers is bigger than 6. So one of them is a 7 or an 8. Good choice. Good choice, Jay. I do like the bird a lot. I assume it's a bird. I apologize now. I should not have said it was a bird, because it's going to turn out it's not a bird. Let's see. Oh, right. I dislodged a 9 pencil mark in box 2. And so, therefore, that is now the 9 in box 2. Thank you to Ambrose and Ratfinks. We could go ahead and mark these, and I know they're not 4 or... Oh, I know they're not 4, and I know they're not 8. So these are a 3, 5, 6, 7 whammy jammy. This can't be a 3, because this digit can't be a 2 or a 1. This digit could be a 3, because that digit can be exactly a 1. Right, if that's a 3, then that's a 2. Both 4 and 8 are, in fact, greater than 2. 8, 9 pair in row 3. This can be neither 8 nor 9, because it's less than that. And so where do 8 and 9 go in the row? They go there. Very smart spot from Garion. So this is a 3, a 5, a 6, or a 7. But it's less than that, so it's never a 7. That might be the best that I can do, though. The 7 in column 4. Let's see, the 7 can be less than 8, and the 7 can be less than... Let's see, if 7 is here, these would both be 8. So one of these 3 is a 7, which is definitely putting an 8 in one of these 3 cells. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Where's 8 going in this column? 8 in this column only goes here. Because I can't put the 8 next to the 9, and if I put it down there, then I have to make it less than the other thing. So that's an 8, and that's a 4. Same with 3 in column 3. Yeah, yep. So 3 in column 3 is only bigger than 2 and 1. Those are already taken. So I can't put 3 in any of those spots, and so therefore 3 only goes there. So that's a 3, and that's a 6. Which makes this not a 6. So these are now just a triple. Let's just mark them in. And they're not 3 or 6. So these are 4, 5, and 7. I guess I don't quite know what's going on with this dot yet. Right. 7 can't live any of those places. Why can't... Oh, right. So Nicholas's point is there's some interesting stuff with 7s in this box. 7 can't live there because it can't be less than any of those digits. 7 can't live on the black dot. 7's not 1 or 9. And so the only thing I don't see is why 7 can't live here. Because it seems to me like there's lots of things that 7 is bigger than that could go there, but maybe I'm missing something. So 4 in column 3, Afraid Not points out, can only go down here, because it's not bigger than any of those. Right. Now this number, the point is here, though. The point is this number is not bigger than 7, so this is never a 7. And so now the 7 is marked into one of those two, which means the 8 is marked into one of those two, which means that's not an 8, it's a 7. That's a 5. This is a none 5 digit. That's a 9. That's a 7. Very good spot. I know people have been picking at that in chat for a while. So people got there. So very cool. So this is definitely a 1, 2, 4, 8 flavor dot. So I could just fill in 1, 2, 4, 8 here. I know this is not a 1 or a 2. I know this is not therefore a 1. So this is only 2, 4, or 8. So there's definitely so there has to be a 4 on this dot, is the point. Right, this is not a 4 because there's a 4 in the box. It has to be a 4 on the dot. It goes there, is the point, which makes that a 3 and that a 6. Makes this a 7, 8, or 9, but not a 9, so it's only a 7 or an 8. And the 8 is up there, so that's a 7. This is a triple. Let's mark it. So I know it's not an 8. This can't be a 5, because then 5 is not bigger than 6. So yeah, one of these is saying that 7 is less than 8. That's very believable. I think 7 is less than 8. There's a triple in box 4. Right, that is a triple. That is a 5, 6, 8 triple, Ambrose points out. So we can mark these, and then help mark by pointing out that these can't be 8 or 6 or 5. So this is a 1, 2, or a 3 that's bigger than something, so it's not a 1, and so therefore this is a 1 or a 2. This is not a 1 either, so this is a 1, 2, or a 3. No, I was going to say something that was wrong. But these small numbers are small. Fascinating. Let me just mark these cells, just in case anything interesting appears. Not quite. I guess 6 is only in 2 places in this world. I guess this digit and this digit are the same digit. I can't imagine that's going to help at any point, but it's true. There is a 1, 2, 3 triple in column 1. That's true. So these aren't 1 or 2. So that is a good spot. One of these is 8. I suppose I know. If one of these is a 4, this is a 3, 6, but I don't know that there's anything wrong with that. Oh, why did I not remove this one from the triple? I don't know. Yes, that is not a 3. I agree. Where is 9 in row 9? Isn't it placed? 9 certainly not. Oh, no, sorry. It can be there or there. Darn it. 3 in box 1. I don't think that's quite what Sarah means. I think what Sarah means is that 3 in box here is there, and so these aren't 3, is my interpretation of Sarah's point. So one of these is definitely a 3. Okay, so where is 8 in column 6? Asks Jaleb. So I don't see why these can't be 8. I guess people see that this is not 4, 8, and I have not yet seen why this can't be 4, 8. That is, I think, the primary thing that I'm not seeing that people have seen. I mean, maybe there's lots of things that people are seeing that I've not seen. Go ahead and mark in those. This certainly can never be a 6. This can't be an 8 because that would be a 4. And there's a 4 in the column. Got it. This can't be 8 because it's less than that, right? So this can be 4, 5, 6 is this can realistically be. So yeah, so okay, so I see now that for different reasons that can't be 8 and that can't be 8, and so therefore the 8 is down here, but the 8 can't go there either. So the 8 is always there. Coolly enough. Okay. So this is either 2, 4 or 3, 6. Those are the only options here. And so in particular, Jaleb asks, where is therefore 7 in this row? And therefore 7 in this row is only here, which makes that an 8 automatically, which makes that a 6 and a 5, and an 8 and a 4, and a 5, and a 9 and a 6, and a 9. Very nice. Okay, got it. So now this is not 2, 4. So that's 3, 6. So that's not a 3. So those are 1, 2. So that's an 8 and a 3 going on over there. So that is not a 5 anymore. So these are either 4, 8, or... Sorry, no, these are either 2, 4 or 3, 6. In fact, actually, let's just mark them. I know that you're not a 7. I know that you're not a 5. I know that you're not a 5. This... Yeah, so... This can't be a 2, because that can't be a 4. So that's a 2, 3, 6 triple, which means this is a naked single. It is a naked single 5. These are a 1, 2 pair. So these numbers are bigger than 1 and 2. Good. Okay, what about this row? Okay, so there's 1, 2, 4, 8 left. I know there's no 1 on here. So there's definitely a 4 on here. This is never a 4. It's never a 1 either. This is only a 2 or an 8, which means that that's the 1 and that's the 2. If I fill in this row, I know that's not the 1. Because it's not less than 2, funnily enough. That's not a 2 anymore. So I can place the 8 in column 7, I have been told. Right, that can't be an 8, because there's an 8 there. None of those can be an 8, so therefore that's an 8. Very good. Thank you, Carl. So we have that. Let's see. These numbers I know are only from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because of those dots. I'm trying to make myself a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintuple, but I'm not quite getting there. Actually, no, I am basically there, because I can ask myself where the 6 goes in this row. No, the 6 in this row is there. Never mind. Sadly, that's not going to work. So the 7 in this row is in one of 2 places, I believe. Let's see. Row 6, column 4. Right. Sorry, this is just a 5, and that's a 7. Because of the inequality that I left dangling after issue. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple, which makes that a 5. No, it doesn't, which makes that a 7. And that a 5. So those are a 1 and a 7. That's not a 5. Let's see. Okay, let's just open up some of this nonsense. So this can't be a 6, because 6 is not less than 6. This can't be a 6, because 6 is not less than 6. So now if this is 2, 4, the world breaks, because if this is 2, 4, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quintuple in the row. So this is never a 2. And if that's 3 or a 6, so is this. So these are now a 3, 6 pair. So these aren't 3. So that's a 2. And that's a 4. And so that's a 3, and a 6, and a 7, and a 3, and a 5, and a 6, which is bigger than 1, like that. 3 and 6. That's not 1 anymore. These aren't 3 anymore. In fact, that is the 3, just by sudoku. That is a 1 and a 7. Placing the 1 in the row there. These are not 2, 3, or 4. Let's see. These aren't 1 or 6. Yeah, one of these is an 8, 9, I suppose. Yes. 3 is greater than what? Nicholas asks. 3 is greater than 2. It's a 4 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 4. And a 2 and a 4 and a 4 and a 2. Let's see. What about this cell? It's only a 5 or a 9. I probably have to think about actual inequalities. 4 is less than 6, which makes that a 3, which makes that an 8 and a 6, and a 5 and a 3, and a 9 and an 8, and a 5, and the bet tree is a 9. Congratulations to all the 9 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes truly come true. Alrighty. I am going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with another puzzle. So see you very shortly. I'll be right back. That was a neat puzzle, by the way. I enjoyed that. The grid is just gorgeous. Like, usually the problem, I should say, with fortress puzzles is that they're just indecipherable messes because you've got these things pointing in every which direction. But here we've got this very clear, like, they're always all pointing the same direction. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. All right. I will be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. I realize we haven't done a Tallcat puzzle in a hot minute, so it seems like it's about time. I will admit I don't even remember seeing this puzzle coming out, but apparently it did. So we are going to do this holiday-themed Tallcat between lines puzzle. So black dots provide a ratio of 2 to 1 between the cells, and between lines, we just need to make sure that the digits on the circles bound the digits on the line. So, for example, if this were a 4 and this were a 6, these would have to both be 5, because 5 is between 4 and 6. Something of that sort. Okay. So I'm going to, if we do have a bet tree, by the way, we can do that. But I'm noticing these can't be set. Actually, none of these can be 7, 8, or 9. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to be very interesting because it's going to mean these are only going to be from 2, 3, 4, 5. Because they have to be between a 1 and a 6. And that actually gives us a 2, 3, 4, 5 quadruple. And now if I look at this column and ask where 9 goes, I can't put 9 on a between line, so the 9 is going to have to go there. And we're going to have our first digit. The bottom can be 8. Oh, the bottom one can be 8. Sorry, darn it. Well, we lost our digit. Sorry, the bottom one can be 8, right? These are the only two that can't be the thingy and the thingy. Well, so much for that. So these are 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we do need a bet tree. Does anyone have a recommended bet tree for this puzzle? If not, I will pick one at random, but we can do that. It is still actually true, Carl points out. I don't even need anything to know that the 9 goes down there. Because the 9 still can't go in a between line. So that's still always a 9. And so we can still get our fancy digit dance. By the way, FJM suggests this. But we'll get our digit dance for the 9. Boop-boop-a-doo. Woo! Boop-boop-a-doo. Woohoo! Boop-boop-a-doo. Woohoo! Ba-doop-a-doo. Wah-ha! Ba-doop-a-doo. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Pointed out by Gary, and we get exactly the same thing with the 1 down here. So we get that going on. This black dot can't have a 1 or a 3 on it, so it's only from 2, 4, 8, and always has a 4 on it for whatever that matters. It probably doesn't. These can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Actually, maybe it does matter, because these can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So these are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so therefore, these are only from 6, 7, 8. That is not an 8. So we've got that going on right away. So what about... so there is a 1 in one of these two cells. I'm going to go ahead and mark. I suppose that could be a 3. Interesting. So Martin's pointing out none of these cells can be 8 because none of these circles can have 9s in them. And so 8 in this column can't be there either because, again, neither of those circles could have a 9. So 8 in this column is always in one of those two cells. And I bet I could do exactly the same thing with 2 in this column. Yes, I can. That circle can't have a 1. None of these can have 1s, and that can't be on a line with a 1. So there's also a 2 up here. But that's very good because the 2 up here then knocks 2 off of this, and that tells me that this is actually a 4, 8 sort of thing. And so now one of these definitely is a 9, because if neither of these is a 9, then all of these numbers are 6, and that's not going to work. So one of these is definitely a 9. And so now the 9 in this box goes over here. So the 9 in this box joins the 2, and in fact actually joins the 2 there and places the 2. So we've got all of that happening, and so we can mark these cells. keeping in mind that they can't be 4 or 8, so they're 3, 5, 6, or 7. Certainly there's no 3 on this line, because that circle can't be 1 or 2. So this is 5, 6, or 7 only, is very interesting. So where is 3 in this column? We know exactly where. It's there. So now one of these circles has to be less than 3. It can only be this one, and it's a 2. So now, we've got a 3 up here somewhere. 2, 3, 4. This is at least a 5. I probably can reproduce some of that over here if I remember what it is I even thought to do. So it's the 8 up here. Oh, and then the 1 in this column. The point is the 1 in this column, where does it go? It also goes up here. And so that's the 1 and that's the 8. That's the point. So we've got those going on. Now, where does the 2 go in this column? I guess maybe I don't quite know that yet. Can either circle in column 2 be a 7? No, because one of them's a 9, so the other one can't be a 7. I agree. Okay, so no 7s happening. 1 and 9 in box 2 is a very good spot from Martin. So the 9 in box 2 has to go there, and the 1 is therefore bullied onto this dot. So this is a 1, 2 sort of dot. So now where is 8 in this box? Asks other Martin. And the 8 in this box now can't go on the line, so it only goes there. Making that a 4 and an 8. Let's mark all of these. So keeping in mind that none of them are allowed actually to be 2. And in fact, no. This one can't be 3, because that can't be lower than it. So this is a 5, 6, or a 7. Let's see. Oh, 8 could go on the left line. Right. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, 8 could go on the left line, because that can be a 9. Yep. But I still get the little bit of sudoku over there. Because that 8 looks over and tells me that's a 4 and that's an 8. Good catch to FJam there, and Ken. And others, it looks like. So we've got all of that. So what is missing in this column? It's a 4. One of these 2 digits is a 4. Just by looking at what's missing in the column. So these are a 1-4 pair, in fact, actually. If I look at that. Oh, where's the 8 in this box? The 8 in this box is just placed. It's placed right there. That is a thing that I could have noticed, perhaps. Let's see. David says 8 is placed down here. So it's definitely in one of these 2. How do I know for sure that's not an 8? Because David sees that this isn't an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Let's see, Carl asked about 8 in row 6. Which needs to go here or here. Oh, and it can't go here. Oh, sorry. Right, sorry. It's there or there. I don't know why I thought it couldn't go in the middle cell. No idea. Can't go there because neither of these circles can be a 9. So it's 8 in one of those, 8 in one of those, and so Carl's point is then where is the 8 in column 6? By Jovi Wing logic, it is over here somewhere. Probably one of these doesn't work if I think about it extra hard. For example, that could never be an 8 because I would need to put a 9 in one of the circles, and I can't. So actually, therefore, one of the n circles of this is always an 8, because there's no version that doesn't have an 8 in one of these, just because of this little mini pattern. So one of these circles is always an 8. And so therefore, the other is at most a 5. I don't know if I really want to pencil mark that. But this dot doesn't have an 8 on it, so it's either 3, 6, or it comes from 1, 2, 4. Let's see. Box 8. The black dot can't be 2, 4, and it can't be 4, 8. I don't think I know why. 7 in column 7, I think has 2 spots. But that can't be a 7 anymore, because if this was a 7, I would need this to be an 8 or a 9, and it can be neither. So 7 in this column actually goes exactly here, which is exactly the mirror of that 3 that we placed a while ago. So this is the 7. So this digit must be bigger than 7, and so it's the 8. And so that's the 8, because I can't have 8 as both ends of my between line. Hey, Sven, welcome. I hope you're doing well. So this can't be a 6 anymore, because these can't all be 7. Let's see. That's an 8 just by good old-fashioned sudoku now. Let's mark this row. So this can't be a 2 or a 6 because it needs to be between some stuff. So this can't be a 2 or a 4 because these can't be the same digit. So this is always a 5 or a 6. So now this can't be a 5 or a 6 because then the ends of this would not have any digits between them. So I think this is my approximate breakdown here. So these digits need to be at least 2 and at most 6. So these are always from 3, 4, 5. That one's not a 3. I guess if this is a 5, these become 4, 3 exactly, which is probably okay, but is noteworthy. And now this definitely can't be 2, 4. Good point from Kurban. Because I can't have 2, 4 here. It would break that cell. Yeah, so this can't be 2, 4. If it were 1, 2, I'm still not sure exactly what I think breaks with that. I think it actually has to be 1, 2. I don't think it can be 3, 6. So I think if this is 3, 6, it makes that a 5, which makes this a 3. Yeah, it can't be 3, 6. I think it has to be 1, 2. Which is then going to place the 1 over there. So yeah, probably one of those circles is 1, but I don't really want to think about it at the moment. So that 1, 2 pair makes this a 4, 5, 6. Makes that a 3. Makes that a 2. Makes that a 7. Makes that not a 4. Let's mark this. This isn't a 4 anymore. Let's see. This is a 5, 6, or a 7, but it's not a 5 or a 6, so it's only a 7. This is a lone digit. It is a 9. So that's a 9. This is a 4, 5, or a 6 for the row, it looks like. And it's not a 4, because the 4 is corner marked over there, or because there's a 1, 4 pair looking down, or whatever nonsense reason you would like. So the 7 in this column is now definitely up here, and so this is not a 7 at the very least. Which means, oh, it doesn't necessarily mean that can't be a 6. I probably have to think about it more to do that. These digits are surely quite restricted now, right? Let's see, 5, 6, 7. Okay, maybe not as much as I had fantasized about. Let's see, if this were a 5... this would be 6. That could also be 6, though. 2 in column 4. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there, and it's not here because I can't put something lower than it in either circle. So I agree with Sarah. 2 in the column only goes there, so that's a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1. And I know I've got a 2 in one of these two cells, which means I definitely need to have a 1 in one of these two cells because I need to bound the 2 with a 1. And if I have a 1 in one of these two cells, I can't have a 2. And I can't even have a 3 because I need I need some digits between them in order to make that work. So we've got all of that. Okay, so Garion asks where 2 is in column 7, and it's actually placed here. Which places the 2 there. Which is going to force the 1 to be here, because if I put a 1 here, I can't put a 1 on this line, so that's the 1. So we've got all of that. That 1 looks over and fixes my 4 and my 1 over here. That places a 1 here, just by good old-fashioned Sudoku. Nothing fancy. These are from that assortment of fineries. If this is a 4, both of these are 3, but I don't know that there's any problem with that. As of yet. There probably will be if I think about it enough. What about you? What can you be? 3, 4, 5, 6. What about you? Fascinating. Okay. 4 in row 8. Yes, there's a 5, 6 pair there, making that a 4. Good spot to Garion. Right. If this is a 5, it makes that an 8, but also breaks the between line, Kurabon points out, so that's not a 5. The only way it works is if that's an 8 and that's a 9, otherwise this is a 5. Does it break for some reason if this is a 5? Yes. No. Not quite. If this is a 5, this is a 6, and this is a 7, and that's a 6. That can't be a 6. Okay, I do think it breaks if this is a 5. If this is a 5, this must be a 6. So this needs to be higher. The highest it can be is 7, but that means this is also a 6. That doesn't work. So this is not a 5. This is a 6, 9 pair, so that's not a 6. And so this is a 7. That's not a 7. This is a right-in. So it's a 5. That's a 7. That's not a 5. Got all of that. Okay, these are a 6, 9 pair. 7 and 8 live between them. Got it. Got it. Cool, cool. Let's see. Row 3, column 7. is not a 6 because it's bounded by a 4, 5, or 6. Why couldn't it be a 4, 7 or something like that? Row 1, column 5 is smaller than row 3, column 3. Right, because if this is the big one, then this would be 7, 6. That's not going to work. So this is the small one, and so as the small one, it can't be 7. Because if this were 7, this would need to be 9, and these would both have to be 8, but they visibly can't be. If this was 6 and this was 9, that also does not work. So this 3 or 4, that I think that'll work either way. So this is at least 4. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's not 4, 6, or 7. So this is only 5 or 8. Okay, so now that I have this, and I look at that digit, now if this is a 4, that's a disaster, because if this is a 4, that's a 3, and that doesn't work. So this is only 5 or 6. And so if this is 5 or 6, this certainly isn't 6 at the very least. So one of these is 6 for the column, regardless. And if one of those is 6 for the column, these are not 6 for the row, we can say. Well, I'm having a delightful time, Tallcat. So you can enjoy the VOD when you are doing whatever it is cats do later. Let's see. These are 3, 4. Okay, so this is a naked 9. I don't know why I missed that. I probably should have paid attention. Oh, it's because I didn't ever mark my Jovi wing over here. That there's sort of a Jovi wing on 9s between these two various factions. Let's pencil mark that. That is also 3, 4, 6. Pencil mark that. That's from a bunch of options. Now let's look at this column. Right. I should mark those. That's the good thing to ask about. Okay, this can never be as high as 6 because of the way that these bounds work. So that's always the 6. This is not a 6. We might go full mark. We can try full mark. It can't be that bad, can it? That's a 3, 4, 5 triple, so that's not a 3 and that's not a 5, so it is an 8. And if that's an 8, then that's a 9. Okay, so going full mark immediately paid off. So good call to Kurabon there on the going full mark something. Oops. As I then can't pencil mark to save my life. Okay, so that is a 5 and an 8 and a 3 and a 4 and a 3 and a 5. Let's see. Okay, if that's a 5, then that needs to be a 6, which makes that a 4 and a 6. That's only a 5 and a 9. Let's see. That 6 means that's not a 6, it's a 5, so that's a 6. That's a 6. That's a 3. That's a 5. These are a 3, 4 pair, so that's a 6. This needs to be between 1 and 6. That doesn't seem super useful. But this needs to be between 3 and 6, so it's a 4. And that's going to unwind my 3, 4 mess. That is a 5 and a 2 and a 6. Let's see. And so that is a 7. There we go. So that's a 5. That's a 3. And our betting tree, which is very appropriate for this puzzle, our betting tree, although I will notice that Tallcat accidentally put one too many things on his betting tree there. But our betting tree is a 7. So congratulations to all the 7 bettors out there. May all your betting tree wishes come true. Off by 1 on the betting tree again. Damn you, betting tree! Damn you! Betting tree's always getting you. It's okay. If you're nice enough, I'll just fill the digit you want into the betting tree. It is a strategy that works now and then. The big tree did have a 9 on it. That makes sense. Why is it never 3? Never ever 3? Alrighty. Let me go dig up another puzzle. I bet we've got time for a full other puzzle. So I'm going to go dig us something up, and I'll be right back. I have found a thing. I found a Joseph Nehme Renbon, which is, you know, a whole bunch of boxes to tick all at once in one puzzle. So we're going to go for this. Renbon, remember, contain a string of consecutive digits in any order, which I fully understand is a nonsense sentence that makes no sense. But what it is saying is that I need to, for example, on this, put 3 digits that would form a string if I put them in order. So 6, 7, 8, for example. I can't repeat digits on them. So I have to keep that in mind. If anyone has done this, I'll take a betting tree. Otherwise, I'm going to guess that cell at random. And I'm going to begin by corner marking a 3 onto this, because what I notice is that this needs to do Renbon things, and in order to do Renbon things, it needs to have a 3 on it. Down there. Let's see. What else do I want to notice about the world? If this doesn't have a 2 on it, then I know exactly what it is. Otherwise, the 2 on it is there. But I don't think I want to think about that yet. This digit in this box goes over there, but I don't know that I really want to think about that yet either. Ah, this digit in this box, I know exactly where it goes. Where does this digit go in this box? This digit goes there, exactly, because it can't repeat on its own Renbon. Hello, Ranksk. So this digit, which may or may not be yellow. Sudokuing goes very well today, actually. So this is Ambrose's point. Where does this digit go in this box? Well, not on its own Renbon, so it needs to go up here somewhere. But if it goes here, I've now ruled orange out of the entirety of this, so this is orange. And now that we know that, now we know orange and yellow are different, so we can move on with our lives. And now we actually know that orange goes here in this box. So we've got that going for us. So what else can we do? Okay, so orange actually in box 5 we actually can place, because this Renbon already has an orange, so that cell is orange. And now orange in box 4 we can place, because it can't repeat on the Renbon, and it can't repeat in the row or column with an orange, so orange is there. And now orange is actually placed there, because orange can't repeat on this Renbon either. So the question is, do I know that orange isn't 1? Because if I know that orange isn't 1, then orange goes there. Let's see. Yeah, one of these two is yellow. Oh, yeah, orange in box 8 is there. Ah, so orange is 1. So our first digit is a whole bunch of 1s. Congratulations. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Boo 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 doo boo boo woohoo! Boo doo boo doo boo boo woohoo! Boo doo boo doo boo boo woohoo! Boo doo boo 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 boo! Boo doo boo 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 doo boo boo boo! Waha! Wee! Woohoo! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. And so now we can probably place our last 1 if we are so inclined. So that's a 1. Okay, so I said something about Renbons having to have 2s on them, and one thing I know about Renbons that have 1s on them is they also have 2s on them. So now there's a 2 over here. So we've got that going on. Let's see. So there's a 3 going on in this box somewhere. There's no 1 at all. No 1 or 2 on this Renbon, actually. This Renbon is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It seems. So the 3 in this box, actually, oh, wait, sorry. No, there could be a 3 here. Never mind. Yeah. Well, no, this Renbon needs a 3. Because this Renbon... No, it doesn't need a 3. It could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry. These are a 2 and a 3. Okay, Heliopolis with the easier point. These are a 2 and a 3, so I should just write them in, so I can write in that 2 and then not think about it. 2 over in this box goes in one of these 2 places. It'll be very sus if it ends up there, but we'll keep an eye out for it and see what happens. 3 up in this box is getting tricky. Oh, actually, just the question is, where does 3 go on this Renbon? And so if I just center mark 3 onto this Renbon, Sven will tell you that 3 on this Renbon goes here. So that's the only place for 3 there. So there's a 3 up here somewhere. The 2 on this Renbon is now getting a little bit nippy, but not quite all the way. This Renbon I know has no 2 on it, so I know that 2 in this row is up here somewhere in assorted spots that could plausibly have 2s. Let's see. Yeah, then we've got like the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 business. Let me just go ahead and fill that in just in case it becomes useful at some point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a length 7 Renbon, right? And those aren't 2s. Okay, so we do have an 8 and a 9 to dispose of. We have a yellow to dispose of in this. This Renbon doesn't have a 3 on it, and it's 5 long. So this Renbon is from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so in particular, the 2 in this column doesn't have that many places it can live. I think the 2 in this column can only actually live in one of those 2 places. Yeah, I know there's no 2 on this Renbon. I have said that many times, but I keep saying it anyway. So the 3 in this box... No, what am I talking about? No. Okay. Good question from Andrew. Where is the 2 in column 6? And the 2 in column 6 can't go in the box with a 2, and can't go on this Renbon, which cannot have a 3 on it. So therefore the 2 is in one of these 2 places. And so therefore the 2 on this staple, as it has been called, is in one of these 2 places. So is the 2 in this row now interesting? Not quite, almost. Very nearly almost. Let's see. What else can we do? I know there's a yellow up here. In fact, actually, sorry, this is a 2 yellow pair, isn't it? This is a 2 yellow pair, because this Renbon needs a yellow on it, and it's the only place it goes. So this is a 2 yellow style of thing, as we are wont to do. So... So let's see. Okay, so I know this is not 1, 2, or 3, at least. I know these 2 are both going to go onto here. And they're not 3. Two in box 3. Okay, so 2 in box 3, right. 2 in box 3 is not up here because we know there can't be a 3. So 2 in box 3 is definitely in one of these 2 cells. And then 2 in box 1. Not quite sure what I'm supposed to see from that. Let's see. Todd says row 7, column 5 is a 3. It sees this entire right. It sees this whole renbon. And this renbon, so it sees this entire renbon, and it needs to go on this renbon with a 1. So let me just write this all out. So these are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But this digit is ruled off this entirely. So if this were a 4, 5, or 6, we could never make this renbon work. And if this were a 7, the only way I could make this renbon work, which doesn't really work at all, is to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which does not work. So therefore that's a 3. So no 3s over there. So now none of these are 3. And so Gennady points out we can now place the 3 here and here. Did I get that right, Gennady? Let me know if I'm pronouncing that horribly incorrectly, and I will try to pronounce it better. I do my best. I don't always succeed very well at it. So these are a 4, 5, 6, 7 quadruple, so these are just a pair. These are just an 8, 9 pair. Now, this being the 8 is not... Oh, wait, no, this being the 8 does work. No, it's this being a 9 that doesn't work. If this is a 9, that's an 8, and I can't put an 8 here. So that's the 8, and that's the 9. And these are 7, 6. So that's not 7 or 6. It's 4 or 5. That's not 8 or 9 either. There's a quintuple in this row, of which that's the 2. That's the 2. And I can just write in this pair, because it's not 4, 5, 6, or 7. These are just 8 and 9. These aren't 2 anymore. So now I know where the 2 goes up here. So I've got all of that. Okay. 2's not allowed on this renbon anymore because 3 got ruled off there, Ranks points out. So when I ask where 2 goes in this box now, it only goes in one of these 2 spots. Let's see. So the other 8, 9 is over there somewhere, I suppose. Yellow's not 8 or 9, for whatever that's worth, because yellow sees the 8, 9 pair. I might as well fill in these, because it might be useful. It probably won't, but it might be. These aren't 8 or 9. Actually, it is useful, because it tells me these are an 8, 9 pair, if I pay attention. And this is a 4, 5, 6, or 7. So one of 8 and 9 is on this line, at least, because this 8, 9 is definitely on this line. So this is certainly from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at its absolute best. Let's see. Okay, so there's something interesting going on with 8, 9s here and the other 8, 9 on here, because I know there's one more 8, 9 to be placed on this. Let's see. I can follow yellow through box 9, I'm being encouraged. So yellow, I know, is in one of these 2 cells. I don't know which one, but one of them is yellow. And so that gives me a 4, 5, 6, 7 quadruple. So this is not 5, 6, or 7. This is always 8 or 9. And now because of that, I can place yellow in box 6, right? That's not yellow. Those aren't. Right. That's not yellow. These aren't yellow. This is yellow. Good. And so now yellow in this box now is only there. And so now this is the 2, and this is the yellow. Oops. So that's the 2, and this is the 4, 5, 6, 7. This isn't an 8 or 9 anymore. And in fact, yellow is no longer able to be 4 because of that. That's a 2 as well. And that's a 2 now. That's very interesting, because that being a 2 means that's a 3. So that's a 3. That's an 8 just by Sudoku, so this is a triple. Let's write it in. It's not 6 or 7. These are 4, 5, and 9, so that's not 4 or 5, and therefore that's a 6 or a 7. If that's a 6 or a 7, then this is a 5, 6, 7, or 8. Those are the only options. Let's see. I'm just checking out this. So this isn't a 6 or a 7, I know, actually, because there's a 6, 7 pair in the column. So this is a 4, 5, or 8, just to finish off the column. So let's have a scan to see what else we can see. Row 4, column 1 is yellow. Helpful. Good spot to Gennady. I'm now scrolling back to see if they told me I was pronouncing their name wrong. And I missed it. It is possible. It doesn't look like it. I don't see it, but I might have missed it. So this is not a 4, because it's yellow. And now yellow in box 1 goes here. And now we know what yellow is, because yellow is both 5, 6, or 7, and 4, 5, or 8. So yellow is now 5. So yellow is 5. These digits are not both 5, however. I can delete the 5. But one of them is 5, and that I can mark. Okay, so if that's a 5, now this can't be a 9 on it at all, or this can't have a 9 on it at all, because 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 is too many digits. So this is an 8. And then this is not a 9 either, and this is not a 9 either. So these are a 6, 7 pair, which look at this cell, making it a 4. So none of these are 4 or 5. These are a 6, 7 pair, making that a 4. Making this not a 4 or a 5. That not a 4 or a 5, apparently. These aren't 5, somehow. Let's go ahead and fill in. That's a 4. That's an 8 and a 7 and a 6 and a 7 and a 6 and a 7. So these are not 5. These are not 7. That's not 8. It's not 5. There's a 7 and a 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a 9, making that an 8 and a 9. None of these are 9. These are a 4, 6, 8 razzmatazz. These aren't 6, so those are a 4, 7 pair. This seems to be a 6 and a 7. Let's just mark all over this place. These can't have repeats, so that's a 9, and that's a 6, and that's an 8, and a 4, and an 8, and a 9, and a 6, and a 9, and a 4, or a 7, if you want to be spicy with it. So that's a 7 and a 4. These are markable. These are markable. Oops, markable. So that's a 4 and an 8, and a 6 and a 4 and an 8, and a 7 and a 6, and a 4 because of the 5, 9 pair, and a 9 because 9, 5, 9, 7, 6. That's a 5. Let's try and mark in these. So that is a 3 and a 7, and our last cell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, is a 9. Congratulations. To all of the 9 betters, may all your betting tree wishes come true. And yeah, Danzor, that really, like, it was like all at once, suddenly there were a million things around the grid to do. That was a really impressive little puzzle there. I quite enjoyed that. Yeah, Jay Dyer is getting a lot of betting tree wishes fulfilled today. Very good. All right, well, it's probably time for me to knock out some 6x6s, because I haven't done that many 6x6s lately. So I'm going to go digging through the 6x6 box and see if I can find a 6x6. So I will be right back. Okay, we will continue with the theme of minimalism troll puzzles. So let us do a minimalism troll puzzle. So what we have here, we have a 6x6 with killers. Digits can't repeat in cages. And we have some given digits that are arranged in a completely random way that is not at all meant to be suggestive of other things. Actually, rather than doing that, let me just mark that these 2 digits are the same, because this digit has to appear in this row. So blue is definitely in one of these 2 cells. So blue is in one of these 2 cells. I know blue's not 4 or 5 at the very least. Let's see. So there's other pairs of digits where I sort of know where they go, I think. So like this digit, for example, I know it joins blue here. And so yellow is in one of those places. Oh yeah, I could just do this 4 in box 5 style. That might be a better place to do this. And then 5 in row 5. Yeah, 5 in row 5, right? Because 5 in row 5 is not blue, so that's a 5. Yeah, the originality that I see in the 6x6 room always really really blows my mind. Let's see. So we've got that. So that might be 1. It might not be 1. These 2 are these 2, I know. So let me mark that temporarily. These are orange and these are orange. And so this is an orange-orange pair. So what can orange be? Orange is never 2 or 5. And it's not 4 either. And apparently, for some reason, neither orange can be a 3. Oh, it's because it's in a cage. So the orange digits are a 1-6 pair, ridiculously. Don't tell anyone, but I did too, Ambrose. But we just don't talk about it, and we pretend we've been on board the whole time. 3, 4. So that's the 4, and that's the 3. These are a 2 and a 5. In some order yet to be named. I think I should get rid of all the colors before I say something based on colors that's wrong, because I've been sort of recklessly coloring this. I can recolor, of course. I'm not at all averse to recoloring if I have to. Let's see. So what are these? These are... Well, let's just mark them. Well, they're not 1-6, because there's a 1-6 pair. And so, so this is a 2 or a 3, which the point is that looks up at the 5 and gives me the 2. And so these are 1, 4, 6. That's not a 1. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. I don't actually know if part of the joke is that it always works out to the same answer or not. I will be honest. I have not checked whether it always works out to the same answer or not, which might or might not be part of the joke. Let's see. So, what about... Yeah, this digit goes in one of those places. 1 in box 3? One in box 3. 1 in box 4 is in the cage, right. This cage needs a 1. It's not in that row, and it's not in those places, so this is the only place that this cage is getting a 1. Good. Let's go ahead and just mark these and note that they're not 6. So now we do know that this digit goes there. So before we didn't, but Martin points out now we know that these two are the same. So this is a 2 or a 3, but it's not a 2. So these are both 3, making that 4 and 5 and 3 and 2 and 3. Making this a 2 or a 6, but it's actually a 6 because of sudoku. So these are not 6. So we can probably mark the rest of the grid now. And so if we do that, we get a 2, a 6, a 1, a 5, a 2, a 4, a 6, a 1, a 4, a 1, a 6, a 5, a 6, and a 1. Nicely done, Math Pesto. I enjoyed that just use of just a handful of cages to disambiguate everything. Very nice. All right, let's see if there are any more minimalism-themed puzzles for us in the 6x6 room, and I'll be right back. Good news, there were more. So this one is a Watchtower puzzle. And so we have quote-unquote standard Watchtower rules, although I admit that Watchtowers always confuse me. But let's try it. So a height n tower sees exactly n cells, including itself, in its row and column that are not higher than n. So a 1 in a circle sees exactly 1 cell in its row. Wait. I always forget how this works. You can put the 6x6 country road in the 6x6 thread ranks. That would be great. Oh, the point is, like, it sees up until the first thing that's higher, so it's like a skyscraper thing, I think. I think that's what we're saying when we say this. So I think we're saying that the 6 in this row is in one of those two places, I think is what we're saying. Let's see. Okay, so one of these two is a 2. So we have sort of here, there's 2 universes based on where the 6 is in this row. If the 6 is here, then this needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, that's not going to work. So the 6 can't go here because then the 3 and the 4 would both end up over here, I think, right? So I think the 6 has to go over here. Does it see stuff behind stuff? I did admit that I've never understood Watchtower puzzles. Oh, it's row and column combined. Oh, never mind. Sorry, it's row and column combined. Okay. It counts the row and column together. Okay, so we don't get much out of this. This is a 5. I will grant that. So now this 3 needs to make sure that it sees the 2 and the 1 in this column, because it's getting nothing from this row. And so in particular, that can't be a 2, because there's no way the 3 could see it. So that's the 2. So we've got that. So now the 3 needs to make sure it sees the 2 and the 1. So the 3, the 2, and the 1 are in these cells. So these cells are always from 4, 5, 6. One of these I know is 1. And if one of these is 1, the point is neither of these can be 1, because the 2 would then see too many 1s. So the 1 in this column is actually in one of these cells. Yeah, ranks. I think the vision gets blocked once there's a cell higher than it. But I think the rules assume that it's clear what the word sees means in a way that it is not clear to me what the word sees means. So I need a 3 in this row. It goes there, and so that's a 4. We can sudoku our way through these. So let's see. So there's a 3 here just by sudoku. Let's see. Yeah, one of these two is a 1. We still know that. This can certainly never be a 6, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, see, is it a problem if those are a 1-2 pair? I don't think so. Let's see. I do know one of these two is a 4 just by sudoku. So one of these two is a 4. Is it a problem if this is a 4? I don't think it's a problem if this is a 4. Let's see. This 5 is certainly seeing these. It's a problem if row 4, column 6 is not from 1 or 2. Right. If this isn't 1 or 2, then this could never get to 3. So this is always from 1 or 2. It's just a question of whether the other 1 or 2 is here or here. It is in one of them. Let's see. So yeah, this 2 sees this 1, but it's going to see this 1 no matter what. And so then the rest of the column just doesn't matter. Okay, so whether this is a 4 or a 5, the point is it sees all of these cells, so that's 4 already. And so if it's a 4, it definitely sees 4. If it's a 5, then it sees 5, because it also sees whichever of these happens to be a 4. And if it's a 6, it's just broken, because then it will see everything. So this is a 4 or a 5, which means this cell needs to break the line of sight here. So this needs to be a 5 or a 6. In particular, it's not the 1. So the 1 in the row is there. That was J40's point and was very well said. So that is a 2 or a 6. Let's see, we can mark these. So that's a 5-6 pair, and so therefore that's a 4. So no 4s there. So one of these two is a 3, I suppose. Let's see. Can certainly center mark those. Center mark these. Okay, I know this isn't a 1 because of my marks, so I need to make sure I actually remember that I know that's not a 1. So one of these is a 1. No, that could be the 1. Well, I can never put a 6 in a Watchtower, so this is a 3 or a 4. If it's a 3, its line of sight is blocked in both of these directions, and that becomes a 2. If it's a 4, its line of sight is blocked in both directions, and that needs to be a 2 or a 3. So I think this is always a 2 or a 3, because this has its line of sight blocked in both directions no matter what this digit is. Oh, no, that's not true. Sorry. If this is a 4, then that becomes a 3. Never mind. I am wrong. No. I think I'm still right. If this is a 4, that becomes a 3. It only sees one thing here, so it always is going to need to see one more thing here. And so this can only ever be a 2 or a 3, I think, is my understanding of how this works. Okay. So, Ambrose, I think, wants me to notice that this 3 always sees the 2 in this column. So if the 2 is there, it also sees the 1 in this column, and then this needs to be a 4 or a 6. If the 2 is there, then this needs to be a 1. I don't quite see how to get more use out of that. I'm sure I can, but I don't see it yet. Let's mark these and hope. Let's see. This is never a 6 because it's a Watchtower. If this is a 1, it's automatically fulfilled. If it's a 5, can we show that it's broken somehow? If it's a 5, does it always see too many for some reason? It's possible that if it's a 5, it always sees too many for some reason that I am not quite grokking myself. I don't think this can be a 2. This is the very minor deduction. I think a 1 is automatic because a 1 can never see any building other than itself. If this is a 2, I think it breaks. So if this is a 2, that's a 3, and that's a 4. And now this 4 sees... oh, no, it sees 4 cells. Dagnammit. No, it actually works if this is a 2. I think this being a 3 is what doesn't work. If this is a 3, it sees neither of these. It sees this, but there's no way it can possibly see this. Oh, no, but it sees that. Dagnammit. Oh, no, sorry. I was right about the thing, because it sees the 1. Sorry, I was right before. This can't be a 2. Because if this is a 2, that's a 3, that's a 4, that's a 1, and the 4 also sees the 3 in this row, and that is too many. So this can't be a 2. Okay. So this is always a 4 or a 6. Hooray, question mark. Let's see. I don't yet know the nature of this 3, right? Is the same true with the 2, 6 in row 6? If this is a 2, that's a 3, and that's a 4. I think that one actually works. I think this works either way. I think if this is a 2 or a 6, it makes that watchtower work automatically. Row 5, column 4. Can't see the 2 in the column. Okay, so right. So this one sees nothing in this direction. Looking up and down, it's never going to see the 2, and of course it's never going to see the 5 or the 6. So it always needs to see this cell, and so this cell can't be a 6, is Garian's point. If this is a 5, does it break this 4? I don't think so. I think the 4 could see, like, that collection of stuff. 6 in row 3, column 2 breaks row 4, column 1, believes Martin. So if this is a 6, that's a 4. This would have to be a 2 in that instance, but isn't it okay if that's a 2? If row 4, column 3 is a 2, row 4, column 4 is a 5, and sees too many. Okay, so if this is a 2, it does make that a 5. This is a 4 or a 6. The 5 definitely sees the 4. I don't understand Andrew's point. Row 6, column 5 breaks, but it's a chain. Row 6, column 5 equals 6 breaks. Let's see. What breaks if this is a 6? It makes this a 6, which makes this a 5. The 5 now definitely sees those two. It sees that one. It sees that one now. So these would need to both be 6. Is there a reason why those both being 6 is broken? Presumably, yes, that's what Carl saw. But I don't see why these both being 6 breaks. That breaks the row 6, column 2 circle. His row 5, column 2 is also a 6. Okay, so... Right. So if this is 6, it makes that 6. And that being 6 means that this 5 needs to get everything from the row, which means that needs to be a 6. But this was all hypothecated on the idea that that's a 6, so it's not. So that is, in fact, a 2, 3, 4, 6. That was a battle. 3 or 6. These aren't 6. That's a 1-5 pair, so that's a 2 and a 4. So that's a 6. Yeah, that if that was the intended path, that was quite gnarly. It's possible I just have so little experience with Watchtowers that that if I had more, it would be like those sorts of deductions in German Whispers, where you just sort of know how it works because you know what German Whisper or how German Whispers work. But at least for me, that was tricky. So by uniqueness, we must be proving this is a 1, because if it worked as a 5, it would definitely also work as a 1, right? Unless, I guess, it's possible. Oh, maybe it's this 4. No, it's this 4. Because this 4 needs to see something else. And so this needs to be a 1 or it breaks the 4. So I don't have to prove the 5 breaks. So we get that. Woohoo! Alrighty, let's go see if I can dig up one more minimalist 6x6. We'll see. I'll be right back. With only a bit of trepidation, we will do Andrewsarchus's mean mini of this. So we need to use 6 digits from 0 through 9 to place once in every row, column, and box. So 5 of the 6 digits we know are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we need to figure out whether the last one is 0, 6, 7, 8, or 9. We have disjoint groups, so we can't put a digit in the same place. So for example, because this is a 1, this can't be a 1, and so it's going to be a 0 in a second. We can't repeat digits along the diagonal. And this is smaller than all adjacent digits. So this is a 0 because it can't be a 1 because of disjoint. So we get to do a 0 dance. Woohoo! So now this clue, we have to make sure it's less than 0, which I'm sure will be challenging. Let's see. Okay, so there's a 5 on this diagonal somewhere. There's a 0 over down here. Oh, right. I should remember that disjoint exists. I'd already forgotten that disjoint existed. I don't know if it does anything, though. I know one of those is a 1. Let's see. Row 5, column 2 is a naked single. It's not 0, 1, 2, 4, or 5. Right, so this is a naked single 3. Good spot to Garion. And now where does 1 go in this column? It now only goes here. And so now where does 4 go in this column? It only goes here. And so what else? So these digits we can fill in are 2, 3, 4, 5. That's true. Okay, so the 1 on this diagonal only goes in one of those 2 spots. Is there any tricksy stuff I can do? Okay, yeah. So the 1 on this diagonal only goes in one of these 2 spots. That means that's not 1. These aren't 1. So I can get a corner mark 1 there, which means I can get a corner mark 1 here, except that's the one that's the 1. Okay, good. So we may have done that in an excessively gratuitous way, but we got it. So 4 is down in one of these spots. Let's see. I know 4 is in one of those. 3 is in one of these. 3's already on the diagonal, so those aren't 3. 3's already there in the box, so that's not 3. And that's not 3. So 3 is in one of 2 places here. I'm not sure that I really want to pencil mark it, but I'm pencil marking it anyway. Let's see. J. Dyer asks where 4 is in position 4. So we can rule out all of those, as well as that and that. So the only place for 4 in position 4 is, in fact, here. Very smart spot from Jay there, which makes that a 4 as well. And so now I should have all the 4s, right? Not quite. But I now know that's a 4 because I can't repeat it on the diagonal, and I now know that's a 4. So one of these two is a 0. Let's see. I can just go ahead and write in that these are 0, 1, 2. Trying to make sure I don't do that. Okay, so these are a 0, 2, 5. That one's not a 2. So one of these two is a 2, so therefore that's not a 2. But that's not a 2. Does that really help me? I don't think so. Let's see. Okay, one of these two is definitely the 0 for the diagonal, though. So these aren't 0. And so the 0 in the column is in one of those two cells. 5 is already in position 5. Yes, 5 is already in position 5, so that's a 0. Good spot to Tristan. Let's see, I've seen some people talk about this cell. It's not 0. Could be 1. It's not 2. It's not 3. It's not 4. And it could be 5. I think this is only 1 or 5? 3 in box 2, according to my pencil marks, seems to be placed. Fair that. 3 in box 2 is there. So this is a 2 or a 5, and it's not a 2, so it is a 5, and that's a 2, and that's a 1, and that's a 5, and a 2, and a 0. So that is a 5. That's a 0. That's a 3. These are a 3 and a 5, and that can't be the 3 by disjoint, so that's a 3 and that's the 5. These are a 0 and a 2, and we know the order. This is the 0 for the column. These are a 2 and a 3, and they go in that order, so that's a 1 and a 2. And so one of these is a 1, and it's that one, and that's a 5. Ta-da! I think we did it. I really liked the opening of identifying that this had to be a 0. That was very cute. Very nice. Alrighty, well, I think we should wrap up there for today. But thank you, everyone, for joining today. There have been a lot of fun puzzles today. We actually did a lot more puzzles than we usually do, I feel like, today. So hopefully you enjoyed that as well. I will be back streaming again on Sunday. It should already be scheduled, so you can go look at that. If you've not yet taken a second to like the stream, please do. Many people were celebrating their support of the channel, having been supporting the channel for a long time today, so I greatly appreciate the support from all of you. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do that for as little as $5 a month just by clicking the join button down below. For a little more than that, you can become a windmill, and then you can also see the puzzles that are in the bucket and vote on what puzzle that you would most like to see. And so I always start stream with those. If you would rather support on Patreon, we do have that, patreon.com/zetamath. Thank you so much. You are all welcome here. It is so fun hanging out with you multiple times a week doing puzzles. I am looking forward to summer when I can stream more, because I will not have as much job as I currently do. So that is slowly creeping up, although I say that as we're buried in snow. But it is approaching. Spring break is here almost. So if it's going to be spring break soon, that means it must be summer, basically next week or something, right? Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thanks especially to all supporters and those supporters at the top level, David, Michael, Nordy, Franco, Woofer, DDX, Logan, Daniel, and Willie. Thank you so much. I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.